The Sunday Sequence Break.
Hello, it's Sunday, the 30th of November. Is that even close?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Good. At least it's still November. 30th November 2014. This is episode 124 of the Sunday Sequence Break. Our game tonight is Portal, and we have a variety of excellent guests for us tonight.
Except for Blizik.
Yeah, well, 3 excellent guests and one guy who just kind of got in the door while it was open.
Yeah,
So-
he's not even that good at this game.
Right, that's what I'm told. All right, so we've got NoirCat.
Hi.
We've got Norferzlo. Oh my god, I'm not even going to try it. We've got someone who starts with an N, ends with an O.
Norferzlo.
Norferzlo, okay, got it. And we got XCD.
Hey, what's up?
And then the 4th guy is Blizik.
Hello.
I'm not sure who we've got with us as hosts today. I know I'm here. Hello. I think Arcano's here.
Hello.
Oh, good. And Flicky, maybe? Nope, not looking like it. All right. So that's our lineup for today. Man, we should just go straight into recaps because I don't like the fact that we're losing time here. Normally I like someone besides me to go first, but Arcano, why don't you do it?
Yeah, sure. So there was SGL yesterday. That was pretty fun. Other than that, I haven't really been doing too much speedrun wise. Been playing lots of other games though.
All right. Well, you helped out a lot yesterday with SGL, Speed Gaming League, something we premiered the first half or the second half of the first season rather. Yesterday we started it up again after a year hiatus, and Arcano helped us by doing the timing for all the runs that people submitted, which was a lot of work. So that was quite a significant achievement this week.
Yeah, it was really fun as well. Like, I'm really glad that SGL's back.
Yeah, and it went really smoothly. I was happy with how fast things got through the pipeline and everything.
Especially with all the changes. Like, I'm kind of surprised we didn't run into more issues.
Yeah, there was bug fixes right up to the last minute. Even during the show, I fixed a few bugs. Cool. Well, that's sort of my recap as well. I worked on SGL a lot. I also played my AGDQ games a bit offline. I didn't really stream it, but I got a new PC, so that really helps things. I'm not using my laptop to stream anymore, which in order to do that, I had to point a fan at it and set it like raised up off the desk so that it wasn't, in danger of overheating. It's pretty terrible. Like sometimes I swear I see smoke rising out of it, but that was a big thing for me this week, getting a nice streaming PC, which is what we're using today for the broadcast. So hopefully it'll be a bit better than the casts I've done in the past. Let's see. Let's just go in the same order that I introduced you guys. So why don't you do a recap, NoirCat?
I think pretty much all I've done with my life for the past 6 months has been play Portal. So I'm here to talk about Portal because I play a lot of Portal.
That's good. That's the best thing. I hate when we have recaps and the person's like, "Oh, I didn't really play my game." What did you do this week? I picked my nose.
Did a little bit of that, but not too much.
Yeah, Noir's been putting in a lot of work, and it's been paying off, so I'm glad to see that he's improving his time and stuff.
Probably like the least lazy person in source runs.
All right, cool. So Norferzlo.
Uh,
Oh, I was not even close. Norferzlo. Jeez.
There we go.
There we go.
Happens all the time. I haven't been playing my game because my wrists are broken, so not really. They're, I'm crippled. It's alright. But I've been playing Marble Blast Ultra, which I'm running at AGDQ, which will be fun. So I did that. That was basically it for speedrunning.
All right.
Right.
Not bad. That's good speedrunning work, at least. XCD.
Hey. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I haven't really been playing this game lately. I just kind of got bored of it, honestly. So I'm taking a break.
Game's too easy for him.
Other than that, I have finals coming up and stuff, so I don't really have time to play it anyways. And I watched the CS:GO finals yesterday or the day before, and that was cool. Shoutouts to Pixel Walking.
All right.
So,
And
yeah.
okay. Good recap. You did some speedrunning-ish things. Last up, Blizik.
Yeah, so I've been doing not playing Portal.
We're all terrible. It's alright.
Yeah,
Right.
I've played a bit of it recently, but mainly off stream just so I can play like 2 runs or whatever. Other than that, I've been getting ready for finals and stuff like XCD. After I'm done those, I'll probably get back to streaming more regularly, which is good.
Prioritizing
preparation.
school over video games, really.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Who
gotta
needs school?
After I'm done finals, though, I'm gonna put a lot of practice in for AGDQ so I can beat Noir.
All right.
All right. So who's are you guys going to race it at AGDQ? A 2-way race?
Yep.
I think so. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. That was a pretty fast recap. We should go right into the game because there's a lot to talk about. I was looking through the
Yeah.
stock and it's pretty big. I mean, anyone who knows Portal understands how much tech there is in the game. For a game that's that short, it's amazing that you could write pages and pages and pages about it. I saw you had a tutorial video or an explanation video that was 2 hours long. Is that just because there's so much stuff in it?
Yeah,
To
it's a
explain.
9-minute run, and it took me 2 hours to go over everything.
Right. So hopefully,
Yeah, we'll try to keep it brief.
yeah, we've got to do better than that. But that's
Yeah.
amazing. So okay, high tech game. Why don't you guys start us off? Somebody take the lead here. Give us an overview of what this game is.
Okay. I guess I'll start. So it's a puzzle first-person shooter released in 2007. It was kind of this game that was expected to be like almost like a side game. It was just like an extra to episode 2 and TF2, but everybody really loved the game. It got awesome reviews and it kind of just exploded from there. And obviously has a sequel, Portal 2. And the game has gone over some patches over the last 7 years, mostly in its early stages, and they patched out a couple of glitches along the way. But for speedrunning purposes, we use the earlier version, or one of the earlier versions, because it is the best for speedrunning. Not the earliest, though. The earliest is actually kind of bad in some circumstances. So, yeah, that's Portal.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting. You guys don't play on the most recent version, obviously, but also not the oldest version. So is it pretty much agreed upon which version you would use, or is there any
Yeah.
dispute about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Not really any dispute.
All right. Okay.
There's a link to it on the Source Runs wiki.
What is it?
Anyone's interested?
Oh, to the
The
Portal or
the
Delta
Source
or
Unpack. It's called.
the Source-
It has the preferred versions of both Half-Life 2 and Portal 1.
Basically, when Valve made Steam Pipe, it broke Save Glitch and Edge Glitch, sort of.
And it also made loading times really, really, really inconsistent. Sometimes they'd be like really fast, but other times they just freeze your game for like 15 seconds.
Yeah,
And,
and you can freeze like mid,
Yeah.
doing something. It's dumb.
yeah, it's
And
really strange.
the reason we don't use the earliest version, which typically people use because it's like usually the most glitchy, is because in out of bounds space, you fall freely through, and you don't want that. You actually want to get stuck in out of bounds in some cases. So that's why we use a middle version of it.
The actual reason is just you can't change from 75 FOV.
Yeah,
That's true too.
except North.
Norf actually plays on the oldest version. Fun fact.
Yeah, definitely. I have play on 75, I believe, because it's default.
Okay. Well, let's get a little bit into the history here. How did this run get to the broken state that it's in?
There's been a lot of people who played
Yeah.
Portal. I
So
guess
when I was doing some research for the, I was making what is it, a time progression world record thing. I have a link to it. I'll link it later. I read through the entire SDA thread, and it just seems like in the beginning a lot of people were doing individual levels and finding stuff in that. And then as time progressed, people started to do full game runs, and then that got kind of popular. And then Demon Straight, who's an old source runner guy, made Portal Done Pro, which is one of the most popular segmented runs on YouTube right now. And so, but between those periods of like 2008, 2012, it was mostly just like segmented stuff. Nobody was really doing single segment, or not RTA without loads. The timing's kind of weird, but
Yeah, I think a lot of it came from the fact that Valve built in the timing. Like there's challenges within the game, and so a lot of what people did, and I think this is how Blizik sort of got started with sort of quote unquote speedrunning, is that people would do the challenges where you want to see how fast you can complete the level. I think you said that you started out by trying to get 3 seconds on 14. On
Yeah,
Chamber
that's
14.
exactly it. But
Yeah.
that's now down to 2 seconds because MNX is insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy guy.
Also, shoutouts to Chamber 6 and PDI. That was just on stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then a person who's actually in chat right now, Zimbabwe, and maybe in existence, I'm not positive, they started to do, well no, they started working on Portal Done Proer, which is the sequel to Portal Done Pro, a couple years after Pro was done because of a new glitch, which kind of changed everything, or a lot of chambers. And after that, Zim started to do a lot of like full game runs, and that kind of made it popular. And that was at the same time speedrunning was getting like really, really popular, like that mid 2012 stage.
Sure, when streaming became a thing. That's why a lot of games, PC games, pushed towards single segment over segmented, I think, too. I mean, what you're talking about with people starting out doing individual levels and segmented and stuff, and then moving into single segment, it probably has a lot to do with the streaming paradigm, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
that's-
Zim really found a lot of stuff in this game, and he just kind of started the whole full game runs, and then it kind of just went from there. And over the course of a couple years, people started finding stuff, and it's been getting optimized ever since. And since Zim started running it, and between now, the inbounds time has gone down almost 3 minutes, I believe, 4 minutes, and out of bounds is around the same. So yeah, it's a pretty big improvement considering how long the run is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zim, MNX, and Demon Straight did a whole lot for this game. Like, I think that out of the three of them, they've probably contributed more than anyone who has ever even played this game. Demon Straight with Portal Done Pro, and MNX just with playing the game always, just lurking in the shadows. He's always got something cooking in his lab there.
Yeah,
But,
MNX
yeah.
is an Australian dude who is really, really good at segments and stuff, and he found a bunch of stuff as well. So, and also we can't forget, there's a guy named Grubo. I don't know, some of the older SDA guys might have heard of him because he worked on a lot of games like Fear and Super Metroid and stuff. He found probably still to this day the biggest glitch, which is, we'll talk about it maybe later, but it saves about 2 to 3 minutes, which is huge in, you know, a 9-minute
game.
I mean, it would be 11 minutes if we didn't know about it. So I mean, it's really, really big. So shout out to him. I don't know where he is these days, but yeah. Cool.
All right. So you have mentioned in this history a couple important glitches which were discovered in the game. Do you want to go through those a bit? I don't know if you want to mention more of these later when we really start getting into the glitches, but maybe just hitting some of the milestones.
The one Grubo fan, it's basically when you fight GLaDOS, she's on a timer and you have to wait for the cores to fall off. But if you, and then after every core, you have the missile shooter, and another core drops, and you keep having to redo this. If you have the turret shoot through a portal, the bullets from the turret will actually knock off all the cores immediately. So that's
Almost, yeah.
well, except the one. One is on a timer, so you can't do anything about it. But
Yeah, and I don't know the exact reasoning for it. I would guess it has something to do with, well, when you're in the actual boss fight, like pretend you're doing glitchless or whatever, there's the rocket turret where you have to like guide the rockets via portals, and I guess the turret bullets have like the same properties or something as the rocket turret. I don't really know. Maybe Zim knows or someone, but
I
think
think
it
you
just
just need to
takes
damage
damage.
GLaDOS, yeah. You
Yeah,
can
'cause it
use
works with SMG.
yeah, you can use any weapons from Half-Life 2.
oh, okay, that
and
would make sense then.
knock off the cores.
Yeah.
That's actually how we discovered one of the new tricks for Escape 2, the last map, for Portal Done Inbounds.
Yeah, if you look at the video here, it'll probably be coming up pretty soon. In Escape 02, where we're fighting GLaDOS, you actually shoot GLaDOS over and over again, and that speeds up her dialogue slightly. So by doing that, you save about 4 or 5 seconds just from the dialogue going faster and the core dropping earlier. So Elgu and I think it's Elgu and MNX are in there doing some crazy dance in GLaDOS's room. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Elgu was definitely. I think he had the entire last segment or something. Yes, and then after that, yeah. So like I was saying before, a lot of people were just doing individual levels, and they found stuff. I mean, out of bounds glitches were found really early, and people sometimes wonder like why there's an inbounds category. And according to Zim, once again, I guess back then SDA separated out of bounds or no major glitches or something.
No major
So
skips.
that was
yeah.
no major skips. So that was like the original, I guess, reasoning. And then
Now Inbounds definitely has some major skips.
Right.
yeah, so it's
Just teleport into GLaDOS's room. No big deal.
yeah,
Yeah, it's difficult to define a line as far as like, oh, this is out of bounds, this is not. I mean, you can sort out of bounds, I guess, is somewhat of a, a hard and fast rule, but like what's a glitch and what isn't is so difficult to say.
For sure.
So to say a glitchless portal run, what would that even mean?
Well, we set up some arbitrary guidelines to follow. No one really does glitchless anyway, so
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's okay. So the glitchless rules were made I guess, like a pretty long time ago in like a straw poll or like some poll or something, and the rules kind of sucked. So one day, I think he's in chat too, Maggot or Mikhail, did a run. He's like, okay, I beat the record, but I considered shooting through the tube on 19. Is it on 19?
yeah.
Yeah, 19.
Not a glitch, so it's not a glitch anymore. We're like, okay.
I mean, I agree with him on that one. I think it's pretty silly, but
There's just no hit detection for the tube for some reason. Like
Yeah,
for your portal at least.
And glitchless isn't really taken seriously, to be honest. It's kind of a boring run. It's kind of interesting at the same time, though. I don't know. It depends how you look at it, but the movement's not fast because you can't ABH. I
You
think
have to psych
ABH.
GLaDOS, so.
I think glitchless with ABH would be a sick category, but nobody will take that seriously. So.
Inbounds, no save glitch, dude.
Too arbitrary. Yeah.
And then yeah, so Out of Bounds was found, and then Portal Done Pro was one of the biggest segmented runs ever by Demon Straight, and that showcased a lot of the glitches that are still relevant today, even like Save Glitch and Edge Glitch and stuff.
it also features award-winning singing at the end.
Let's not. Breathing in the chemicals.
It has 1.5 million views, almost 1.6.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was this? When did this happen?
That was uploaded December 9th, 2010.
2010. Goodness. And so that sort of put the Portal speedrunning in the public consciousness, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
And then you've got in July of 2012 Portal Done Proer. So what's the difference there?
Portal Done Proer was a project that the Source Runs group worked on. It was mostly Zimbabwe Goknak in existence and someone else who I'm forgetting probably. But a bunch of
Okay.
people got together and they were like, all right, Portal Done Pro is cool, but we're going to make it faster. And so they decided that they were going to go in. And since they found so many new things with save glitch and different edge glitches and just general ways to optimize things, they went and they did a new out of bounds segmented run, which is what Portal Done Pro is. And so they saved about a minute, I think, over.
No, it's almost
8:36. And
Oh, yeah, about a
Yeah,
minute.
almost a minute. Yeah.
By the way, both those runs are not timed correctly in their YouTube.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit janky.
I forget what Demonstrates is, but I know for Portal on Pro on the YouTube says 8:31, but it's actually 8:36. Apparently, Gawknet timed it in Sony Vegas, but when you actually download the demos and put it into the program that counts out loads, it's actually 8:36. So that's just a note. And Zim told us before we came on that the inspiration they had for Portal on Pro was this new glitch called clipping glitch, and what it is, pretty much if you shoot a portal on like the top of a wall and then you jump through the other portal, like the top of the other portal, like you can actually see above the wall for a couple frames or ticks or whatever you want to call it, and you can actually shoot a portal out of bounds. And so that made getting out of bounds like super easy, and you can get out of bounds in a lot of places that you otherwise couldn't. So that's what really kind of that Pro into.
Yeah, any map that you have a portal gun, you can get out of bounds.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much.
And then even the ones you don't, you technically can.
And yeah, so those are some of the.
This game is so broken, it's ridiculous.
And yeah, those are some of the really, really big glitches that kind of do it for this game.
Yeah, edge glitch, save glitch, and probably
Portal
clipping glitch are like the main three that are used.
Yeah.
Well, ABH,
Which-
I guess. ABH is going fast backwards. And that's always
Which we'll,
nice.
we'll have to explain these more in depth, but
Yeah. Well, we can start to get into that. Well, let's get the categories defined first, and we'll talk about
Oh,
that.
boy.
And then, or try
so
to.
there's beat the game.
Beat
Which
the game. That's a good place to start.
You beat the game. That is the goal of the game, is to beat it.
So there's no other restrictions other than you have to beat it. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
you
not
have to-
allowed to use SV cheats.
Not allowed to use.
No, like
That's-
cheat commands in the demo.
Yeah.
Or like console commands, rather.
Got it. Okay.
Certain ones.
Anything that's like not that you
Okay.
can't use in SV cheat. It's really weird, but
It's hard to, like, for example, you can create an airboat without having cheats activated. That's
this work.
obviously not allowed.
Huh. Okay.
I'm gonna link
And-
something in chat. It's the world record progressions over the last couple years or so, and I think people find it interesting. So I will link that now. Okay. Anyways,
The other category that is the most popular is inbounds, which is kind of weird to define because we've had to redefine it a few times, just a few. But basically, as long as it looks like you're inbounds, you're inbounds, and that's good enough for us, I guess.
Huh.
yeah.
Camera and placed portals must be.
Yeah.
announced.
We call
So-
it Kappa Noob. Camera and place portals are not out of bounds.
So there's this glitch called save glitch. It's been a very, very touchy subject in the Portal community, as some might say. So the way it works is it separates where you shoot your portals from where you're seeing. So it's basically impossible to keep track of both of them because the game only keeps track of where you're looking from.
Okay.
So we just say if you can't see or any part of your camera or if it's all inbounds, your camera, you're still inbounds. As long as you don't fire portals out of bounds, you're still inbounds.
Yeah.
I see. That's a pretty coherent definition, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, it's really hard to define it because
It really is.
It's kind of with all these glitches, like part of you's out of bounds, part of you's inbounds. Like you have to draw the line somewhere, and I think we did a pretty good job. Or not me, because I came in to the community kind of late, but other people did a pretty good job of it. I know like people like Xenernicus, who is an amazing Portal 2 runner and did Portal 1 as well, is not a fan of this glitch. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's why he doesn't really do this game anymore. It
He
wouldn't
also
surprise
does,
me.
he doesn't like this game. As far as I know. Which is
So
fair.
it still kind of makes people whatever, but I think they've accepted it a little more now.
We stopped
Yeah.
trying to argue.
And yeah, I think, by the way, so most games name their categories something like any percent.
Sure,
which
yeah.
is the reason the Portal community does beat the game, and I honestly think, well, I'll just say about that later, but is because there's no percent counter in Portal, so we just say beat the game. That's how it's always been defined. And I think obviously better off for games to define it that way, especially if there's no percent counter. It just sounds better and it's less confusing to people who don't really know things about the community.
That's
So-
true. It definitely makes sense. Makes more sense to people who don't know about speedrunning too much. Yeah, we get a lot of submissions that say beat the game instead of any percent. I mean, I think there's good disadvantages and advantages. I mean, one thing, almost every other game is called any percent, even when they don't have counters in it. But it is, still unintuitive in the way that you say. So that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's-
Old school, beat the game.
Categories are not really meant to be just the definition of the category. Like, it's meant to be a way to easily say, okay, this is what I'm doing, and then if you need to know the rules, there's obviously meant to be a set of rules somewhere else. But I digress.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not really important that much, I guess.
I'm glad we addressed it, though. Beat the game. Okay. Well, so general techniques, I guess. Everyone knows, well, anyone who knows about Portal knows about ABH. You want to just give a quick overview of what that means?
All right. So the game tries to make you slow down, but we don't like that. So, in the old engine of Half-Life 2, back when it was first released, you could just continually jump forward and gain speed. There was no limit to how fast you could go, as long as you were holding W and jumping every time you hit the ground.
that's the Valve.
Yeah, so Valve's like, this probably isn't a good thing. We're gonna fix this. So they tried to fix it and made it worse.
Or
And that's
better.
how ABH was born.
Right.
Yeah, or better in our case.
Better in our case.
And the
So-
way it's performed. Oh, sorry, Blizik. You can go.
Yeah. So you jump once, spin around in the air, crouch, and then just keep jumping. So what the game's thinking is, hey, this guy's going too fast. I'm going to try and subtract from his forward speed because it thinks you're going forward. Subtracting from your forward speed when you're going backwards already just adds to your backwards speed. So every time you jump, you're going faster, and it's trying to subtract more off your speed, so it just continually accelerates you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is a speed cap in the source engine at about 3,500 units per second. I forget how many jumps that takes. It takes like 5, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like
Um,
4 or 5.
Iminex and Kluger, who's a Portal 2 runner, and he also did Portal 1, did calculations. Pretty much you can do this thing, I think it's called a cheat engine or something, and that uncaps the speed. And they
Oh, yeah.
made like a huge Google Docs, like how fast you get if it's not capped, and it goes into like the billions after like 10 jumps or something. It's
Yeah, you go
insane.
faster than light in like 10 jumps. It's great.
But it's capped, so 3,500 UPS is the thing, and yeah, so.
The maps are pretty small, so it
And-
really doesn't matter.
And
Mhm.
by the way, just as a side note, ABH exists also in Half-Life 2, the new engine, which I believe is 2007 engine,
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2, and then it was patched out of the newer source engine, which is Portal 2 and whatever.
It's also in Gary's mod if you play the single player.
Oh yeah, another weird thing is like apparently the single player and multiplayer engines are different in source or something like that. So in like CS 1.6 you can't ABH,
I don't
unfortunately.
know.
That'd be insane.
would- Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a real shame to play that.
If you set max players to 2 in Portal 1, it doesn't think it's Portal anymore and you can't ABH. You have a health counter too.
It's really weird.
That's strange. Huh. Okay. So, just something about timing. Is there a frame cap? You can't like adjust your frame limit, right? It stays.
It's all
fixed?
in ticks, which is a tick is 0.015 seconds,
Okay.
1/66th of a second, I think. And basically, we time it based on the ticks.
Okay.
And a tick doesn't ever drop, so it's not like you can change your frame rate and then your run will be faster, slower, whatever. Ticks are consistent, so it doesn't matter. Like if you're whatever you do, it'll always be consistent.
So,
I see.
more, can the difficulty of tricks become easier or harder depending on your frame rate?
I don't think so. I think that if you have a frame rate that is like really, really bad, it just doesn't display those frames and it continues to run the same as it normally would, but you're just like seeing things is basically like a slideshow. Like if you had a bad frame rate in a multiplayer game, it would just, everything would be moving around you and you wouldn't really know what was going on because you'd be skipping frames. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It doesn't have slowdown like SM64 or whatever.
On the other hand, if your FPS is too high, I think it was Z's was looking at this. He uncapped his FPS and he was running at something like 800 FPS, and his game was running like he was moving faster than if he didn't. Though since it's tick based, the timing was still the same because we're using demos.
Huh. I see. I guess that's an advantage then of using the demo recordings, is that you don't have that, that extra factor in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another good thing about demo recordings is that, see, I'm not a big fan of like streaming. I just like to do runs offline, so it's easy for me to have proof and stuff. Even you can technically fake it, but like it's really hard. And like one time I tried to stream because people asked me to when I was going for record attempts or whatever, and I was playing fine, and all of a sudden like I couldn't move. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then like 2 seconds later, my computer just shut off, like overheated or something.
Yeah,
So,
in general.
I was like, okay, no more streaming. I'm just going to record demos, and hopefully people accept that as proof.
Yeah. In general,
So-
we try to be kind to people who don't have very good hardware. Like Portal is a really good game for PC in that even if you have pretty bad hardware, you can still speedrun Portal pretty easily. You don't really need anything super fancy, unlike a game like BioShock Infinite, where you have to have a good computer or else you just lose time all over the place because your loads are bad or whatever. We try to make it so that it's as fair as possible. So we don't count loads, and just the way the game works is very friendly in that regard.
And I think a lot of games are starting to switch to that no loads timing, because honestly, to be honest, it's kind of BS to have a timing system where you count loads. Like if you don't have the proper equipment, your time is slower. So I know this guy, there's this guy named Vitalis. He's honestly done so much for timing and stuff. He's the one that made the live split component that doesn't count loads in a bunch of games like Halo, Portal, any Source game actually.
Oh, that's handy.
Dishonored.
Yeah, you can see it in the run on stream right now. My timer pauses during loads and saves and stuff.
Yeah, and he says that it's pretty much tick perfect. It doesn't really mess up anymore. It used to be like a half second off, but he's improved it, and we're pretty sure it's accurate at this point. So it's really nice to have for timing's sake. So shout out to him.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. The timing in Portal is completely automatic. It automatically splits for you, it automatically starts, and it automatically ends based on when you gain your crosshair and when your crosshair goes away. It's pretty awesome because we get to be super lazy and not worry about our timing at all. It's like, all right, start run button.
Yeah, I press one button, it starts recording demos, starts me from the first map, and starts my timer as soon as I gain control. It's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, what's the name of this tool again? What is it?
It's just a live split. Yeah.
It's a
live
plugin
split
for live
component.
split. Got it.
Here, I'll link it one sec.
Yeah, I think other people might benefit from that. You said it works on a bunch of games. I think that seems pretty
There's an
handy.
I think that
There's an
live
SDA
split
thread
has
on
a
it.
Oh, okay.
feature now where if the game that you're running has automatic timing, you can just download it into live split. There's like a button that's like, hey, automatic timing is available. You probably want this. It's like, oh, I want that, and then you have automatic timing. But
All right.
it's not for all games, obviously.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Well, we hit accelerated back hopping, but edge glitch is the next thing that you got up on here, and we have a nice diagram to show.
Oh no.
So this should clarify things for
Let's
us.
show the second picture instead. It's probably better. I'm sorry.
I like it. Go on. Not making fun.
Okay, so edge glitch is what happens when the game doesn't know where you are. So you stand on the edge of a portal. The game thinks you're in two different places at once, and it separates where you shoot portals from where you're looking, like save glitch does. Save glitch is just edge glitch extended past the edge of the portal. So we can use this on chamber 18. Actually, that's what I drew in the diagram. It shoots the portal from the roof there through the wall and next to the door, and then from there we can shoot a portal through the door into the final area.
Basically, the game, what you're seeing is you're at the portal you're on top of, but where your body is actually shooting from is from the other portal. So if that happens to clip through a wall or something, you're able to shoot to the other side of that wall or wherever. And basically, once you're done, you can just like move off and go through the portal, and you're back to normal.
Huh.
Unless you save glitch, and then everything breaks.
Yeah, wait, what's the next on the list? Are we doing save glitch now?
Save glitch is the next thing on the list.
All right, I got this. Don't worry about it. So
Noir is the save glitch master.
I have a PhD in save glitch. I'm going to write my master's thesis on it. If you think of the map like a three-dimensional grid, save glitch can be explained by taking the distance from the portal that you save glitched on and moving where you shoot that same distance from the opposite color portal. So that's a lot of words. If you save glitch on a portal, which means you get edge glitch and then you save and load. So say you save glitch on a blue portal and then you move 3 meters left and 3 meters down, you will shoot from your orange portal, but you'll shoot that same distance. So you'll shoot 3 meters to the left and 3 meters down from your orange portal. So that lets us just move around the map without actually moving anywhere. And on 2, 3, 11, 12, and 18, I mean not 18, on 2, 3, and 11, 12, we skip elevators by using this, and it saves a lot of time. Besides the GLaDOS turret skip, you can, I think it saves the most time out of anything in the game.
Maybe.
Totally, yeah.
Alright. Most time. Okay. Was I showing the right spot in the video there?
Yeah, the
Okay.
PDI is just all save glitched all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. You can just show PDI and it's
Just
save
any spot
glitch.
will, chances are, be the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing
cameras.
that video didn't explain is it messes with all the hit detection for the map.
Oh yeah.
So each portal has its own separate physics bubble, which I'm not exactly sure how that works. But if you're not in that physics bubble or around a portal, you actually fall through the ground because the game doesn't consider you to be colliding with anything. We actually messaged one of the developers, Dave Kircher, and he gave us his best guess of what happens when you save glitch, and it was pretty interesting. But basically,
XCD just linked it.
Pretty much. There's so many glitches in this game that are kind of still unexplained. Like, there's some explanation of it, but we never really knew like the the fine details of it. So one day I was like, hey, why don't we just like message one of the guys who like worked on the physics engine and just see what happens. Like, we weren't expecting like a response or anything. It's like, why would this massive company respond to us? Like, and then like a couple days later, Norf gets an email. He's like, hey, I got an email from this guy. I'm like, what? Like, I was so shocked. I was really happy too. And well, the first one was about some other glitch we'll talk about later because it's not actually helpful in our runs. But I just linked to Pastebin where we asked him a bunch of questions, and then if you scroll down, he gave us his answers to all of them.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's
Yeah,
a
it
lot
was.
to read.
Yeah.
He put in a lot of time to write that. It seems like, so it was really cool to get that. We were all super excited. So yeah, if you want to read more, if you're interested in maybe like programming or something, it might be
How
interesting
exactly
to
is it?
you. So
All right.
yeah.
So the under elevator save glitch, just same kind of thing as the
Uh,
above.
yeah. So in out of bounds specifically, because you can't do this in bounds. If you're on the edge of a portal and your portal is so you can get under elevators and out of bounds. Like basically every elevator that you have a dual portal gun for, you can get under it. So if you're under it and then you have your portal on a wall that isn't going to be there in the next map, your portal doesn't spawn. So you have one, you stand on one portal, and then when one portal is removed with the loading of the new map, it considers it to save glitch you, I guess. So basically, when you use the load of the map as loading a save, and you're able to walk out from under the elevator and be save glitched, the immediate the level starts. That didn't really make sense, but
Yeah.
somebody.
Save glitch works because I'm not actually sure why, but it's something to do with the fact that you go through a load while the game doesn't know if you're in the physics bubble around the portal or not. So
It
the
thinks
closing
you-
portal through the load makes it so you're not in the physics bubble anymore, even though it thinks you should be, and that's what makes you save glitched.
So you start the new map being save glitched, and you don't have to find an edge to do it on or anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty handy.
Mhm.
Okay. You want to move on to quantum crouch? Just do these in order here.
All right.
I want to hear about the quantum crouch.
Quantum crouch is another thing where your body and camera get separated. You crouch fully, uncrouch, and then recrouch before you're fully stood up again. And that makes it so your head doesn't have any collision, but you can still shoot portals from there. So you can like launch yourself into a ceiling, see through the ceiling, and then shoot out of bounds. And we use that in out of bounds single segment a lot. I think Chamber 6 is where it's
Chamber
made.
6.
You're seeing that now.
Zim came up with this really. Zim had this strat where he was quantum crouched for like 4 chambers in a row or something, and nobody knew about it until HD. Like we knew about it, but we never saw it because Zim can't like stream.
Yeah.
So he like revealed it during the HDQ race, and we were like laughing because it was like the most ridiculous thing. But it actually works. Apparently it's like just as fast as the route that we use. So
Yeah, when you're quantum crouched, it acts as if you're crouched, so you can't jump. Well, you can't jump when you're quantum crouched for some reason. You can if you're regular crouched. But if you crouch a specific tick that you go through a portal, you can actually become quantum crouched and still move at like full speed. So that's what Zen does, and he basically does that in Chamber 5 while waiting for the elevator. And then in Chamber 6, he just jumps on top of a little block in the wall, and he just can see out of bounds because he's already quantum crouched from the last map.
yeah,
And no one knew that was a thing until he showed it.
yeah, Zim is really really good at finding new strats. So, anyways,
All right.
what's
I can jump to the scene shot.
Alright.
Don't think
Um,
we have video for that, do we?
well, a seam shot. So
Oh, we did.
walls in Portal don't actually come to like a corner. Well, some of them don't. I guess I don't really know. And
Pretty sure
some of
every
them,
wall has a seam. Like every corner has a seam.
yeah, but some of them I think are easier to shoot than others, or something like that. Am I saying that right? Nor?
I think
Maybe.
that some of them overlap, and in the walls that don't overlap, there's space that you can shoot through, but the space is typically really, really small. But in a couple of the chambers for out of bounds, it's actually made in such a way that you can shoot to like underneath an elevator or underneath of an area that you need to be in, and so you can use PQR, which we haven't explained yet, to get to
I'm showing the wrong video.
Yeah.
further area in the map.
I got it.
Yeah. So
and-
basically, you're allowed, like in Chamber 4, you shoot through a seam in the wall, and your portal lands outside the room of Chamber 5, and from there you can hit the trigger from out of bounds to like open a new portal in the room. So it basically skips the entire Chamber 4 and 5 just by hitting that one trigger.
Yeah. And what we do is, so for some of us on higher sensitivities, and this is legal, we bind another key to lower our sensitivity to like 1.0 or something. Like personally, I use 8, but that's to do a seam shot with 8 sensitivity on my mouse is like nearly impossible. So what I do is I bind in the console I bind sensitivity like 1.0 to one of my keys. I think it's like G or something. And when I'm ready, I'll press the button, and that makes the pixel shot a lot easier to shoot. And then right when I'm done, I just revert back to my old sensitivity with another keybind. And that just makes the trick a lot easier in Chamber 4. But actually, we don't use that anymore in well, okay. So in Out of Bounds, there's 2 strats. You can either do that, or there was a save glitch found in Chamber 4 that does the same thing. Apparently, it's a little slower than if you did the seam shot perfectly, but doing the seam shot perfectly is so rare. Like, I've done over 1,000 runs of Out of Bounds, and I've gotten it maybe 5 or 6 times. So,
yeah, it's
honestly,
not consistent.
The save glitch is like maybe a second slower than a perfect
Something like that.
seam shot, and it's easier in my opinion. So
It's
yeah,
way more consistent. So
Yeah, that too. So what do we have?
Wow, pretty neat. So Portal Bump's next thing on the list here.
I think we only
That's
used
actually
twice now, right?
um,
16 and 17. I think they're the only places we use it now.
yeah, unless you still do it on 15. I sometimes do.
we do it in 11. Well, not anymore, but we used to do it in 11 Out of Bounds as well.
yeah, some people it's about the same speed.
It's actually like the only glitch on this entire list that still works in Portal 2. I'm pretty sure it is.
Almost completely useless.
Well,
Oh wait, does it really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it does.
Portal-
They actually use it.
yeah, Portal Quick
what's
Reentry
that?
also works. It's just you're never out of bounds in Portal 2. So
Oh, does it? I
yeah,
didn't know that. Hmm.
I think that's what Drunken Shoe said. But
Anyway, Portal Bump is what happens when the game is trying to move, or trying to put a portal on top of another portal that's already on the wall. So it'll like push it to one side or the other. And this is an intended feature. This is just so you don't have portals overlapping.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a wall next to the portal that's next to the wall, I don't know what I just said. Let me try that again. So if you have a portal next to a wall and it's thin enough, and you shoot a portal at that portal, it'll bump through the wall and end up on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, I
The
see.
game just like doesn't know where to put it, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like what do we do? And then it just puts it on the other side, or out of bounds in some cases.
Or out of bounds,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wait, we use it in 19 as well. That's what it was.
Oh,
That's what I
yeah.
was thinking.
Oh yeah, we do.
And,
That's actually a pretty
see-
big skip too. That avoids going through the pipe, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
And that's a long. I mean, that's a pretty big time state.
it's probably like 10 seconds or something.
Oh, yeah, that's about right.
Well, you can go in through the other door at that part.
yeah, but it's going around to the other door.
Spoilers, Blizik.
Okay.
Alright.
So large angle glitch.
I mean, we don't have any hope of explaining how this works.
All right,
But
I got a
yeah,
video to
basically-
play.
Refer to the pastebin I posted because that has the answer
Yeah.
to that.
We asked him about it, and it
Oh.
kind of made
Basically-
sense.
You can't actually be at an angle in this game. Your body is not able to be at an angle. But when you're wedged in a portal that's on an angled surface, it calculates where you like your position differently. And so if you go through a portal while you are wedged in an angled portal, the unstuck code just freaks out and is like, okay, you're gonna go over here now because I don't know what you're doing, but you're not allowed to do it anymore. So
Oh,
And
there it
What's
is.
even better, yeah. What's even better is you don't even need to be at an angle. Sometimes, just randomly, it happens with 2 vertical portals, like in the video.
yeah,
So
And
we have no idea what's up with that.
and it's kind of a big deal because what you just saw on stream would save like 10 to 15 seconds, which is like
Even more
for
if
the
you
out of
keep it
bounds
right there.
run that's like a big deal because that will put us past like a certain milestone
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
path run.
are you guys
So-
grinding to try to get that? And
No, as
No.
far as I know, no one knows
No.
how it works.
I don't
You can
think.
do it more.
Nah, I'm alright, dude.
Basically, how the unstuck code is, if you are going through a portal but you're not able to, it'll put you in the next like freest spot. So if I go through a portal and it's like blocked off, it will just move me through objects. So if you block an entire like wall of cubes on the other side of a portal, it'll push you through the cubes. But if it doesn't have anywhere to do that to, it'll put you to the back to the next spot that it knew it was safe to be, which is where you went through the portal. But for some reason, it does that twice, and it somehow teleports you to a different spot on the map, which no one knows why.
Yeah, we even asked the developer was like, yeah, I don't actually know why this works, but
That was
I'll
his
guess
best
at it.
guess.
I mean, granted, he hasn't worked on the game in like 7 years, but still, like, it's pretty funny how even the person who coded the physics like doesn't even know why it's doing it. So it's still an unexplained mystery, and it would be really helpful to do it consistently. But honestly, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Unfortunately.
Cannot be explained by modern science.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So
good.
All right.
there's also acute angle glitch, which basically is the
right.
same thing. It just teleports you a smaller distance. It's used once in the escape to get by a window without having the rocket turret shoot it open.
Yeah, in Escape 01, usually you have to press the button and then have the rocket turret shoot the glass. But if you place a portal on the angle and on the ground near the glass, and you just go through the portal, it just bumps you past the glass, and that avoids that in Escape 01. So it saves a couple seconds.
All right.
Okay, cool. So the portal re-entry PQR.
Yeah. So that's an out of bounds glitch. Basically, if you're outside of the map, the game doesn't like it. So if your hitbox is only ever on one side of a portal, and when you go through a portal, it basically takes your hitbox from the one portal and puts it to the other one. So if you're halfway, like, if you're on two sides of a portal, your hitbox is only ever on one. So if something hits, like, your feet or something, it actually won't kill you if your hitbox is on the other portal. It's really weird.
And the way we do it is, say you have a portal on out of bounds space, and the other portal is like inbounds on a wall or something, and you want to get back inbounds on the other portal that's currently out of bounds. What you do is you go halfway between the portal. You have to like be walking or like whatever through the portal while you're doing this, and just as you go like halfway through, you shoot the opposite portal that you're going through, and it knocks you back in bounds. And this is like huge for out of bounds. Like if we didn't have this, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of skips.
We wouldn't be able to get back into the map, basically.
Yeah, in some cases there's some modified. Okay, so there's
There's a lot of
classifications of. Okay, so there's PDR, which is is that what's portal
Portal
destruction?
destruction
I
re-entry.
just call
And
them
that's like-
portal
That's
range.
just like the general term for them, because
And then there's
pretty
a-
much everything works by destroying a portal and re-entering you inbounds.
So
There's a bunch
basically,
of go
ahead.
Okay, thanks. Here, I'll explain two of them. You can explain them. Okay, so there's different. So that's like the general, and then there's like sub. Like there's other ways of doing it within that. So the first one is Fizzler entry, and the Fizzler is the emancipation grill that like destroys all your portals when you go through it. That's in your elevators. For example, in Chamber 6, what we will do is when we're out of bounds, we will, like after the quantum crouch or whatever, we will shoot a portal right under the Fizzler, and then what happens is we go through the other portal, and we hit the Fizzler at the same time we are halfway between the portals, and it just so happens that like the Fizzler destroys the portals. It's the same exact thing as a PQR. It's just that we're using the Fizzler to destroy the portal instead of the portal gun instead.
Yeah.
So that's one way. And another way is we use in Chamber 4. It's called trigger reentry. In some triggers in this game it's the same thing. Some triggers in this game will destroy your portal, and this happens in Chamber 4. So what we'll do is we'll shoot a portal on the outside of the box in Chamber 5, because 4 and 5 are connected. And then while it's on the box, we'll just go through it, and while we're halfway between it, we'll hit the trigger, and it destroys the portal when we're halfway between it, and just knocks us back in bounds. So yeah. Is there any? Are we missing any?
Yeah, basically, if your hitbox is half inbounds and half out of bounds, the game just tries to put you to the nearest safe spot, which is why destroying the portal that you're going through, when your hitbox hasn't fully gone through it yet, it considers it stuck and pushes you inside the map. And there's a bunch of ways to destroy the portal. So.
And there's actually one more reentry that is not used anymore, but Zim told us about it months ago. If you're in out-of-bounds space and you shoot 2 portals on the corner of like a wall, and you walk like at the corner, it knocks you back in bounds. It's really
really?
weird.
I haven't seen that.
You guys don't know about this?
No. I need to go do this.
It looks pretty silly, yeah. You can also save and load to get back in bounds. I have done a couple of out of bounds races where I don't know the out of bounds route very well, so every once in a while I'll end up like above an elevator, and it's like I'm gonna save load down because that's fast.
Saving and loading when you're out of bounds, basically it just, actually anytime you're stuck in something, which out of bounds you're basically always stuck in something because it doesn't have physics, it just like stops you. You can just save load and it will take you whatever direction you're going, which in this case, because of gravity, it pulls you down into the map, and you can use that to clip through floors and ceilings and things like that. It's a great game.
Yeah, this game's really well made.
Well made.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this next glitch sounds like a really helpful one. So why don't you take us through this?
These next 2 are super useful.
Yeah.
We should have got a video for that one.
We have a video for the second one.
Yeah. The second one.
But the first one, the cake soft lock, absolutely integral for this game.
Actually, the video that's playing right now on stream. So
Wait,
what IMX does is you can get to the cake room after the game ends. So once you kill GLaDOS, you have like a certain amount of time to get to the cake room, and you can also get outside and place portals and things. If you take the companion cube and place it on top of the cake, when the crane comes down to put out the candle, it isn't able to because the cube is blocking its way. And you'll actually hear the noise of the candle getting put out, but the cube won't let the crane touch it. And the actual trigger to play the credits is the crane touching the cake. So it never plays the credits, it just sits there at that screen.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
And I think it's actually in one of the HDQ runs. I think it might be in the Azure and Nernicus race from HDQ 2014. So check that out if you want to see it. It's really, really funny. There's another thing we can do after the credits are done. I think it's in PDI. No, not PDI. Norf did it in the out of bounds race in the SGDQ.
Get outside.
If you go outside, you can actually get outside. Actually, you probably just saw that a couple minutes ago. And for whatever reason, if you shoot a portal on GLaDOS' model in a certain position, the game just like crashes. Nobody knows why, but like
it just doesn't like it.
Yeah. And it's like the only place where it'll crash. Like it's a very specific spot. So yeah.
Are there a lot of game crashing events happen? I mean, given how broken this game is in good ways, I would imagine there's lots of ways that are really bad.
Depends.
Not really.
Depends if you want to try and do it, because even like just recording too many demos will crash your game.
Oh, okay.
For some reason.
Yeah. I know one. When we're doing segments, and if you reload too many segments or saves or whatever, it'll give you a linked list overflow. And that's when you know you need to stop doing segments.
It's like 6 hours later, you're like, oh man, I've been at this for 6 hours. I should really stop.
That's right. It's a safety limit, though. It's thinking of your ergonomic health.
Probably.
I cannot count how many times I've had to restart my game because of that stupid error. The 300 something hours I put into Portal and Inbounds, just like, oh, gotta restart my game. All right, well.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
nice.
really annoying because every single time you restart your game, the load times are terrible because it like stores it in your, I don't know, it like stores your the maps or whatever in your RAM or something, and then the load times aren't as bad. When you turn on your game like a fresh start, it's terrible. It's like 10-second loads.
Oh, weird.
One of the weirder ways that I've seen to crash your game in this, if you kill GLaDOS and then you backtrack through Escape O2, basically you start by shooting up into the big turret room. If you go back down there and then to where the fan is, if you jump in that acid, apparently your game crashes. Like you just like jump in the goo and your game decides to crash for no reason. I think Sully used to do that.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have a video for item save glitch?
Save glitch.
We could find one. Someone
Well,
else.
he has to
other than me.
download it. Oh, you can just link it.
I can download it if it's on YouTube. I could probably get it real quick.
Do you want to download my 19 one? Here, one sec.
Put it in the doc. Put it in the doc, and I'll get it.
Okay, one sec.
Sure.
Can somebody explain and link Paceman while I get this? Because it's kind of a really weird glitch that is kind of recent, sort of.
I don't know if I have it.
I'm gonna put it in the doc really quick.
I can link the Paceman.
Yeah, link the Paceman for me. Give me 1 sec, Fiesel.
All right, no problem.
You guys want to explain the rotisserie chicken in the meantime while you guys are getting this figured out?
This is,
I don't know
is-
why it happens, but it does, and it's
I
wonderful.
kind of know why it happens. I don't know. So basically, whenever you open a door in this game, there's like, for some reason, if you're like looking the wrong way, it'll grab your view and it'll pull it to wherever the door is opening to, which can be really annoying. But if you get a door or a chair stuck in a door and then jump on top of it, for some reason it just keeps trying to pull your camera and you just spin in a circle forever. It's great. And it makes no sense why it happens.
Alright, so I just linked the video in the doc, so hopefully Fiesel gets that downloaded
Yep, I'm getting it.
quickly. I guess, so this is our first inspiration for emailing Kircher, the Portal dev. So this glitch has been known apparently for a pretty long time, but nobody knew how to do it consistently, and pretty much what it does is it makes like the props in the game act really, really strange, among other things. And the way it's done is we kind of just like, it's really hard to explain, but we pretty much just go in chamber 4 and we put cubes near a portal, and then we put the radio through the cube, and for some reason the game like freaks out, and every prop is like going crazy no matter what chamber you load.
Yeah.
Like unless you restart your game, the glitch will be active.
Yeah. Basically, it stops checking if items are colliding in a certain way. So whenever items like move, they just fall through the ground, or they'll like get pushed up because it thinks it's inside something else.
Yeah.
Which kind of is.
Bounce.
Oh wow, that's what happened here. Look at this. What a mess.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure chat will like this.
Yeah.
Space.
And the reason I'm mentioning this is because we were talking about game crashes. For some reason, if you have this glitch active and you go into the GLaDOS fight, sometimes one of the cores will start like duplicating, like, and it makes your game start like lagging like crazy because like too many models are on the screen, I guess, and then eventually it just like crash or whatever because it goes so slow.
I found a screenshot.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, that was just after my game crashed, so everything's all white, and it's like HL2.exe stopped responding. That was one of the cores, and it, yeah.
I hate this game. So yeah, those are some of the ways this game can crash, and I think it was a good idea to bring up item save glitch because it was a cool mystery to solve with the help of our Portal dev friend.
Yeah, we posted on Portal or Reddit Game Physics or something, and people were actually pretty close to what the developer was saying about how it was working. It was pretty interesting seeing everyone's thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else?
Zim just linked to my item save glitch video.
Oh, that video is so good, dude. The video in chat right now is like a must-see for any person in chat. It's so good, I can't handle it.
Just bouncing chairs, man.
All right.
What else is there to cover? I keep closing the dock. Oh, there it is. Is that it?
That's
I think
it.
We hit
Is
everything.
that it? Excuse me? What do you
An
mean,
hour,
is
right?
that it?
I
We've
want
been on
more-
this for like an hour.
Right. So, man, let's see. Do you want to talk about how to learn the game, or should we? Do you have more that you want to say about this? I mean, we pretty much covered. I guess there's more to the game than glitches, right?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
No, it's just glitches.
No, this game
There's
is
some
nothing
small
but
things.
glitches.
Right. So a
Oh,
list of
something
glitches.
else. Well,
Mhm.
something else that I think is in the works, maybe on pause right now, is there's. I guess this isn't really speedrunning, but it sort of is because I guess they're trying to do it as fast as possible. Something called least portals, and it's trying to complete the game in as little like I don't know, least
Least
portals as
portals.
possible. There's no other explanation, and it's really really cool. Maybe there's a video of it. Let me find it,
It's
but
super broken.
it's Chamber 19.
Oh, I have
And
a good video. Yeah.
hey Noir, do you know how many portals the game can be completed in right now?
I believe it's either 15 or 14. It's
Wow.
one of
Oh, damn.
those.
Yeah, it's incredible,
It
really.
used to be
And
17, and that's how they started working.
I have a pretty good video of something from Least Portals
the Immunex.
Chamber
that I
11.
can link.
Yeah, and that's just like another challenge we do. Like we do ridiculous stuff in this community. One time we were in a Skype call or something, and
Oh,
out of nowhere we're just like, let's do the most ridiculous category race ever. And I think it was Azray was like, was it Azray?
I think
like,
it was
let's-
Sepulner, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe it was Sepulner, and he was like, "God, you should do glitchless no forward key." And iterated it, and it was like kind of fun. And we just like put out like these random arbitrary like
Yeah.
restrictions because honestly, like this game is so short, and we grind out runs like crazy, and sometimes you just have
It's
that
just
fun
something
with it.
different.
Oh, we didn't talk about camera bug.
Oh, that's
Oh,
kind of big actually.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that's-
camera
that's-
bug is
yeah.
like, so for the camera model, basically there's a spot in the camera where you can get stuck in, and it thinks that like the camera tries to push you out because there's sort of like a soft spot in the model that you can go into, and so it just continually tries to push you out and adds to your speed. And so we can use that in a couple of interesting ways where we can use cameras to just fly around, and we can gain speed and then release ourselves and go flying out of an elevator. And so we do that a bunch in Portal,
On inbounds.
Portal
Right.
Done Inbounds.
Okay, I
And
got
the video
Chamber
that
15 going now.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good example of just how insane it can be. And this is also a video from Least Portals.
This one.
Oh yeah, this one and 19 are really good. Like remember when MNX got that launch, the camera launch?
Ooh, wow, what a shot.
Yeah. Took many tries, I'm guessing, to get that.
That.
It's
Yeah, that was
segmented.
about 8 hours I spent trying to do that.
Oh
Just
my
the same
god,
glitch.
it's so
Oh
good.
god.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Oh,
That's these
that's
portals.
amazing.
Safe glitch is pretty good. Who needs to
Um,
collide with things?
What else?
Huh.
Yeah.
But that's a cool
closing-
category. Minimum portals. I think that's maybe some other direction for the game to go. It's
Yeah,
good.
it was actually around for the okay, let's try that again. It was around for the release of Portal because it's one of the challenge mode types that Valve has for I think 6 of the maps.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the 3 challenges are least steps, least portals, and least time.
Right.
and
least
yeah,
time,
least-
obviously, but
Yeah, that's
Least
that's
steps.
a bread
Right.
button.
least steps. Does anyone ever try that?
MNX has been doing that a lot.
Almost all of the like challenges that you can the 6 levels you can do.
Mhm.
I think 5 of them you can do in 0 steps. And
Yeah,
the one you can't because you can't fire portals on half the map. So
Yeah, Chamber 17.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else?
see if I can find some least step stuff.
Pretty sure,
Advanced 16. This isn't even supposed to have a least steps steps challenge for it, but MNX is crazy, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this."
Yeah, a lot of it's just like falling in and out of portals to not step on the ground. It's kind of funny, but it's interesting as well. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do. People
sure.
have done like random restrictions, like trying not to use their forward, like some keys to beat the game, and like
Zero
jump
gravity.
list.
Jumpless.
Yeah.
Jumpless.
The most important category in the game. Beat the game without
Shouts
jumping.
to Yeti Revolution.
Okay, we're looking at 0 steps, chamber 16 now.
Oh, sick.
Advanced
Okay.
chamber 16, so the turrets aren't supposed to be in crates, but
MNX is crazy, dude.
yeah,
It's so good.
some of the stuff he does is crazy.
The best part about least steps is how your camera is always in a terrible position because you're constantly falling in portals.
Huh.
I think MNX is in school right now. I think he's watching. He lives in Australia, so it's like 11 a.m. right now. But definitely, he's incredible.
This is so
That's
ridiculous.
crazy. You just bounce so that you can move in the air and not on the ground, and it won't count. That's
Yeah,
the
then he
idea.
just then he'll just like air strafe to get some movement or distance.
Yeah, that's another glitch is if you crouch while you're going through a portal, sometimes you'll just sort of bounce and go back up.
Yeah, it'll
And
push you back.
apparently that's useful if you're MNX. He's a wild dude.
Wow, I can imagine what this no forward key race must have been like, huh?
It was really fun, I must say. It took me forever to do some chambers, but
We did one.
Cube throw, it's so good. Oh.
There's this
If we're
guy-
talking arbitrary categories, we can't forget LSD percent.
Oh man.
Yeah.
LSD percent is one where the game has no textures anymore, and you're expected to complete it.
And when
pretty
the game
much-
when the
Sorry.
game doesn't have textures, everything goes like a weird rainbow color,
Yeah.
and it's just the worst thing ever.
See if I can find a video of that. Oh, there's a
It's
Twitch
not-
highlight. That's
You
not
can always
good.
screenshot it.
Yeah, that's true too.
You see it at a bounce sometimes. Like if you're at a bounce, you'll see there's just like this colorful wall.
Yeah,
Same with it. Same with it. Certain spots in inbounds, they just didn't texture like behind orb throwers or orb catchers rather.
Blizik has gotten like, so in inbounds there's like a couple really really hard tricks to do, and Blizik's gotten them in LSD during runs. It's
There's a
crazy thing.
screenshot.
Yeah, freaking Blizik got ABH over goo with no textures. He got, what else did you get with no textures?
Hey, I got
Pen
ABH over
door
do
launch.
with one hand.
I got
That's
door launch.
disgusting. Yeah, we're crazy people.
Way too much free time.
Oh man,
Goodness.
it's funny because like a lot of us only speedrun Portal. Like this is the only games we run,
Yeah.
and this is the only game we dedicate some time to. So
This is like the
We're pretty
only game that I play.
yeah,
I've tried playing others. They're not as good.
I've done like shitty NES games that people might know me for. Half the Killer Tomatoes, but Portal, I definitely spent a lot more time on that. I don't regret it at all. So, any other glitches we're missing?
Nope.
Probably.
You'll think
Yeah.
of one later, I'm
There,
sure.
there definitely is, but they're probably not important. Even
Right.
Free portal, but it's more of a portal too.
yeah, whatever.
Uh,
But anyways,
Yeah, so let's talk about how to learn the game here. Someone starting out in Portal speedrunning, where do they go?
They probably
So-
want to start with inbounds, where you don't go crazy in the map and try to beat it as fast as possible.
yeah, to be honest, I only know of one person who started out with Out of Bounds. His name is Palladis. He has the anti-chamber world record, and he actually has a pretty decent time. But he does not. His inbound time isn't that great, but he never really put time into it. He's the only person, so there's a pattern where people start with inbounds, and it does help. I think I really did.
It helps
Yeah.
your movement a lot more.
Yeah.
Just learning the engine.
Okay.
There's a couple tutorials for inbounds if anyone's interested.
I can see it there.
There's Phantoms.
I think
Wait.
Phantoms is most up to date.
I'll start
Uh,
linking them.
There's the speedrun.com section for guides for Portal is there.
Yeah.
There's 2 out of bounds tutorials and 1 inbounds tutorial on there. I will link that in chat right now.
Cool.
So that's probably a good place to start.
Also, I am like always playing the video game, so like if you just want to come into my stream and be like, "Hey, NoirCat, how does this thing work?" I'll be like, "Well, you do this, and then this thing happens." But we usually tend to have a pretty good policy. Like, we'll always try to help somebody if they have a question about the game, because just how much we know about this game is like, well, I mean, someday I want to get some use out of this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
wealth of knowledge that I have.
I think that's
So
true. But
I
a
like
lot of
helping people
games.
with this game. When they come in, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know how to do this." I'm like, "All right, I got you, buddy. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. I really, really like seeing people improve. It's really cool, honestly. And I think like after Sully stopped playing, there was a huge. He wasn't the reason or anything, but I just saw the same pattern of like there's a huge influx of new runners who got really good at the game, like Z's or Finzi and I don't know Wilson. All of these runners like got super good, and there's been a lot of competition lately.
Mhm.
In fact, on speedrun.com, Portal's like number 2 most, or has like the number 2 most
Something
runs
like
behind SM64. I don't even know why SM64 is on there, but Portal's number 2. So we have like a huge community. I will say most of it. The weird thing about Portal is, most of the runs are inbounds. I don't know why this is. I think people find inbounds easier, so they start with it and then they never get to out of bounds because they quit before then. Honestly, I think that's what happens. Oh, Sully's here. Hey, Sully.
Out of bounds is a different difficulty.
It is.
The tricks are harder, but to get a like lower time is easier in my opinion. Because if you hit all the tricks, then your time is relatively. You didn't lose too much time by messing up the tricks. It's just getting the trick is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, in inbounds, all the tricks, well, not all of them, but a good majority of the tricks are relatively easy to do, but just doing them quickly and the movement in inbounds saves so much time, it's ridiculous. Like, probably up to a minute if your movement isn't all that great.
Yeah. Out of bounds
Sully actually has the best video of anything Portal related ever. If you go to his Twitch page, there's a highlight called "The ABH over Goo is never gonna happen." You should just watch that. It's pretty good.
Yeah. The joke is that we use, or inbounds runners use ABH over Goo, or attempt it a lot now. It's like Blizik can get it pretty consistently at this point. Noir can get it pretty consistently. So it just goes to show how much the standards have risen.
Right.
Is that the correct word?
yeah,
Sure.
sure.
In the community, and I think that's also why the times have gone down over the last couple of years. Like, the standards are incredible. Like, for example, out of bounds, honestly, I can't see more than 10 to 12 seconds going off, like at the best. Norf, do you agree with that, or?
With current strats, maybe.
Yeah.
And inbounds,
And then-
I would say up to 15 with current
Like-
strats.
I remember when I got my 918 out of bounds, I'm like, wow, you can save like, I had like 3 seconds of mistakes and then like maybe 5 seconds of optimization. And now we're at like sub 850 and we're like, well, sub 840 is probably doable.
Yeah. It's kind of
I know on my inbounds world record I can save 10 seconds on 18, 19, and Escape Zero, just on those 3 maps, up to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Not
Which
each,
runs are-
but like...
Escape 00 is the worst thing about this game. Such
Very-
nonsense.
Very precise shots in that one.
Let's see, what else do we have?
Cool. Well, yeah, the portal, the guides at speedrun.com, and you mentioned getting the correct version of the game to play on, the one that
Oh,
you want
you
for
should-
speedrunning.
Yeah.
What you need to do, you should just like contact us privately, and we need to like have confirmation that you bought the game, because we don't want to be like
You don't
distributing
want to
a
be that
game
guy.
illegally.
Don't want to be the
yeah, like
pirates.
yeah, no.
Piracy
But
style.
like, buy the video game. It's been free a million times, and it never costs very much money. Just like go buy it and
There's a
come
Steam sale
say
on
hi
right
to
now,
us.
actually.
Yeah, Yeah, just go buy it right now, and then come be like, hey,
Amazing
hook us
game.
up with the good
Even
version.
if you're not going to speedrun it, it's worth it.
Usually,
Kind of. Sorry.
I usually let Yalter just distribute it because he's the one who made the unpack, basically.
Yeah.
So if you ever need to get the unpack, you can usually just message Yalter, and he'll be able to help you install it at any, like, with any issues you're having. What Exceed said in chat, yeah.
Right. And you can also go to our webpage, tssbreak.com/links, and under the links, there's links to all of these runners who are in the call right now, links to their Twitch, so you can find them that way and PM them if you want to ask them about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Ask the runners makes sense, you know, the people who are most knowledgeable. I can tell you guys really want to spread your knowledge, not just, you know, keep it and let it amass until it, you know, you do nothing with it.
Yeah, if we tried to use all of our knowledge here, we'd be here for days.
It'd be terrible.
Exactly.
Honestly,
TSSB would never end.
Portal community and source runs in general, I think, is one of the best communities. Like, there's just a lot of cooperation, like segmented runs and everything, and everybody's pretty friendly in general. So yeah, it's not a bad game to run if you like the game, like PC speedruns, whatever. So yeah, whatever.
Source runs are great until Osu takes over. And...
Yeah, we've lost 2 Portal runners to Osu.
Hashtag NoSu 2014.
No, Sue.
So yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, there are better ways to get carpal tunnel than Osu, I'd say.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
playing
Portal
Portal.
for 6 hours.
Exactly.
Norferzlo actually has carpal tunnel. That's why he doesn't play
It's great.
anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, I'm trying to think. I think we're good, honestly.
Okay.
We covered a lot of shit.
Yeah, we really
Nice.
did.
Well, it was excellent. I mean, we've had this game on the show almost 2 years ago, I guess, but a lot has changed since then. Huh? 800?
800 days ago.
800 days ago. There's a lot that can change in that time.
Say 800-day anniversary.
I think it was July
Yeah.
8th, 2012, which I believe was the same day that Portal Done Thrower was released. So that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was around the same time, I remember. But
Yeah.
but yeah, looking at that records progression, it looks like a lot's changed time-wise since then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Neat. Well, you guys are welcome to... I'm going to hit the split for Game of the Week. Mission accomplished. And now, if you guys want to stick around and do records, it
sure.
would be plenty of room, because I'm the only host here. Well, Arcano's here, too.
Yeah.
Somewhere. There he is.
Hey.
There we go. But there's
Hiding
plenty of
in
us now to do the records. Oh, I'm still playing the Portal video, though. Let me get out of there.
Oh, by the way, what does it mean when a record is highlighted red?
It means we don't like that person, and we're not going to talk about that record.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Actually, it means we have a video to play, so
Oh,
that's
got
what it
it. Same thing, right?
Right. Okay. So let's start us off, man. We have not too many records this week. We have like 6 pages of it. Pretty decent. All right, I'll read the first one off here. First game we got here is 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, I guess. This is any percent run in 1 hour 25 minutes 54 seconds by the Englishman. Hold on, let me get that video playing. There you go. He said, Epic Mickey 2 is on hold until I can get a better PC, but in the meantime, here's the underrated, so bad it's brilliant, 50 Cent, bitch took my skull and possibly my brain. I'm just quoting this. I'm not making this up. This is the kind of game where you can tell if you're going fast enough when you're outrunning the level textures, and it makes you say things like, I think I have enough pistol ammo for the next helicopter fight. Overall, this was a solid run, albeit with 3 deaths, 2 of which were chokes near the end of the game, and I can see this being brought down to 120, perhaps even lower in a co-op run. Hopefully a cute Lynx and I can start routing that out one of these days.
Yeah.
I can see the transition from Epic Mickey 2 to this.
Seems like a pretty funny
similar.
game, honestly. Just the name itself kind of says enough. 50 Cent.
Blood on the Sand.
I wonder if that's like... Oh, it is a legit game. That's interesting. That was like a Kanye's Quest sort of thing, but no, it's on the 360.
Right. No, legit game.
Okay.
And it's got
Alright,
a
so-
speed run, so that makes it more legit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's when you know. Okay. Are we watching the video? Oh, there
Yeah,
it
we
is.
are. It's going.
There
I'll
it
let you know
is.
when it's finished. Good stuff.
Doesn't look as bad as I thought, but I'm guessing it's still pretty bad.
The game
Can't
is
say I've
alright.
played it.
I've watched people play it before. It's not a terrible game. It's a video game. It's definitely not Portal, but it's a video game.
It's not Portal, yeah.
That's
That's
probably a
roll
good
everywhere
thing.
for one thing. All right, cool. Well, that's it. Congrats to the Englishman. Man, has anyone played Alien Swarm?
I've heard of it. I never
think
really
I've
got the
put
chance to
maybe-
play it.
That
It's
thing
like
is-
a
Maybe 10 minutes
Smash
into that game.
TV style thing, isn't it?
It sort of is, yeah. Well, why don't you read this off? You're the most qualified by far to talk about this one.
All right, so Alien Swarm for the PC, 80% solo, new world record by Onin. He said, "I've been wondering about running Alien Swarm solo for a while when suddenly a few people started doing just that. So I jumped on the bandwagon. The run is played on easy because it's the fastest. This allows for the riskiest IL strats to be employed as the risk of death is pretty low. Lots of major rocket boots, jumps, lots of flamethrowers, no dying to parasites. Then I found a trick on the second level. Letting an alien boost you over the fence lets you skip more than half of a long elevator sequence. Problem is, the alien spawns randomly, the physics don't behave very well, and only if you reach a certain point in the elevator shaft does it bump you back into the map. This trick can save 30 seconds on the normal route, but in this run, it wasted 10 seconds on me. There's a few more pretty sloppy points in this run, so I'll definitely be improving it. And the time was 11:57 on that one.
All right, and I guess that's what we were watching, that glitch we saw there, out of bounds. Pretty neat.
Well, this is definitely the episode to talk about long elevator rides.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Each
true.
elevator is 8 seconds long. It's the worst thing ever. In
Right.
Portal.
If you jump to a random spot in the video, about half the time it seems like I'm looking at an elevator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's the
All-
only bounce to the speedrun, honestly. Everything else is really cool except for elevator.
Well, it
Elevators
gives you
are
some
nice.
time to look at chat at least, which is
Yeah.
nice. in
I like to
between
watch
mom-
the gun monogram changing. That's what I look for in the elevator.
My mom comes into my room every once in a while I'm streaming, and usually the first thing she says is, "Oh, you're stuck in the elevator again." And I just give her the most disheartened look, like, "Yeah, I'm in an elevator. You're not wrong."
Oh yeah, this is on Source Engine. Just
This game that we just watched?
Alien Swarm.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
The
Looks
reason that I know about this game actually is because they had a promotional event for a TF2 hat, and I saw everybody wearing that, and I was like, "Oh, this game looks kind of cool." But yeah, it's actually a pretty good game. I've had a bunch of friends who've played it, so
looks kind of neat,
I-
like the overhead levels in Contra a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's it. Congrats to Onan for that. Oh, here's a fun one. Who likes NES games?
Oh, I think I like this
Hey.
game. This is
Uh-oh.
Atlantis no Nazo. It's an NES game. The category is any percent hidden final zone in 240.1 by Author Blues. This category attempts to reach the hidden final zone as quickly as possible. A hint is given for the final zone by the keyword Nagayo, which is the first three letters of the numbers 7, 5, and 8, respectively. Throwing the correct number of dynamite while standing on or near the respective Moai statue triggers the secret exit out of Zone 20. This run improves upon Carpet Crawlers 313, which with more optimized movement in Zones 2 and 8, and faster triggering of the secret exit in Zone 20. 80% requires a turbo controller, so I won't be learning that category. I may attempt to root all treasures, which could be the 100% category, but that run would likely be near 2 hours due to how much content this game has.
Wow.
Neat. Looks like a lot of content.
And that's 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and it goes up to 2 hours for 100%.
Pretty solid.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Something interesting about the comments is that he mentions that you need a turbo controller or any percent, which is kind of weird because usually turbo is banned unless there's some sort of Japanese influence on it. Because I know in some games like Yoshi's Island, like Kaide used to use a turbo controller,
Right.
and people used to discount his record or whatever. I don't know the exact story around it.
Sure.
But I'm curious if there is some sort of Japanese influence on this game because it is a
Yeah,
Japanese game, no?
Japanese. You're right. This is Japanese release something. I think we were told the other week what it is called in English, and it was something sort of familiar-ish, but
It's The Legend of Atlantis, I do believe.
okay. I
Also
think
can mean a couple of different things.
I see. Neat. Well, there we go. Atlantis no Nazo. I wonder if that's a Meme-Vember game or if he's going to continue playing it after Meme-Vember's over.
Meme-Vember?
Meme-Vember. It's the month of meme games.
I didn't know if this.
It's your last chance to start playing a meme game. It's the end of November here.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, $100 bounty.
All right, let's do it.
Boy in his blood, triple on blood winning.
I was playing
shout out
meme
to
games.
Zephyrs.
Man, it's too bad there's no Attack of the Killer Tomatoes on this list. How come we haven't seen any more of that game? Didn't you
Yeah,
want to shave
it's-
off
yeah.
like 2 more frames to get the perfect run?
I don't know, man. Maybe I'll go back to it, but probably not. That game's boring.
No kidding. Oh man.
Can't believe I ever ran that game. It's embarrassing. But it's pretty funny too. Okay,
Cool.
anyways.
All right. Well, let's
Sorry.
move on. This is a nice short game coming up next. I think you'll like this.
Oh,
The Portal Runners and Out of Bounds. Someone's got to like this.
yeah, I'll do it, I guess. Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance on the Game Boy Advance. Any percent maximum in 40 seconds. Wait, what? 40.24. I
Yeah.
think that's seconds, right?
That's
yeah.
it. It's 40 seconds. We're watching the
Wow.
whole one right now.
By
Nice.
Charlian, I think
Mhm.
that's how you pronounce it.
Charlie.
And he says Mega Man Runner, I think.
Yes.
3.1 seconds faster than the previous world record. Through rigorous practice, I finally managed to take the Task Candle Whip Launch, Zip, that's an interesting name,
Yeah.
to RTA, and execute almost a flawless run with it. I took a hit from Dracula, which costed me the sub 40, but other than that, it's perfectly executed. Special
Dude.
shout out to ZX, who helped me a lot to improve the maximum any percent route. If you want to go absolutely bananas, you could do a frame perfect space jump after the candle zip, followed by a sub pixel look and mashing to get straight to Dracula's chamber, which enables a sub 35 time.
Wow.
But this is batshit insane, so yeah.
That was amazing.
That's
That
pretty
has
good.
that has as many loading zones as Portal has elevators.
Neat. And we got to watch the run
That's-
twice in the time it took us to read those comments.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's out of
That's
bounds.
amazing.
Yeah.
All
Oh wow,
right.
we just PQR.
Nice.
He went back in bounds.
All right. So who
Cool.
wants the next one?
Oh man.
Doom 2
Okay.
Flashback to Hell on PC. Single segment UV speed, 3747 by Cyberdemon 531. Flashback to Hell is a 2014-15 map WAD for Doom 2 that recreates the first episode and then spins off into a unique Hell episode. This is the first single segment run to be completed, thanks to some new route improvements and new tricks that save some minutes in later maps. More detailed notes and video description. I guess I'll open
cool.
that.
Cyberdemon's been
Anyone
going
wants-
through all kinds of different Doom and Doom 2 variants. I guess
Yeah,
mostly
I
Doom
know
2.
There's like so many mods or whatever for Doom
Mm-hmm.
speedrun any of them. It's kind of crazy. It's a really cool speed run,
Well,
even though
what
it's like
was
super
the
cool.
what
Right.
did Dime submit to AGDQ? That would have been like 160 hours or something.
Maximum Doom, I think.
Oh.
He submitted a 16-hour run. I think it was like obviously a joke, but it was still really funny. Yeah, Dime submitted.
I thought it was
Max.
wasn't it only 16 hours because that's the maximum time he could submit? It would let him put 160 or something.
I don't know,
That's
man.
pretty nuts.
So yeah,
Most of these mods are really hard. I mean, people don't tend to make easy or normal difficulty mods. Usually they're just, as crazy as they can think of level designs.
Kind of like
Yeah.
Kaizo with Super
Right.
Mario World, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of course, there are a lot of really good Super Mario World mods. They're just like, oh, play this game, have fun, it's cool. But there's a lot of like the Kaizo stuff. So I guess it's the same with Doom.
Right.
I heard that Doom 2 is like, because we see a lot of speedruns of like these walks or whatever you call them, but you never, like, I don't think Doom 2 speedruns are that popular because apparently it's like super, super hard to do
Mm-hmm.
or something, like Doom 1 or something. So it's just kind of interesting, but This is pretty cool. I like people always discount like speedruns and mods, but I think some of them are just as cool as the original game, like Dram doing Kaizo Mario or something.
Yeah, it's just tough because there's so many mods of games, and you know that sort of dilutes the whole field, and you got to really know which are the really serious ones to do, which are the good ones. Like Kaizo Mario, obviously, has got a reputation, and I imagine among these Doom 2 mods, there are some that are well-known, standout mods. So
Yeah.
Doom
Cool.
2 world record last week. I didn't know about that.
Huh. Well, let me actually remember to switch the page this time. I'll read this next one here. This is Dynamite Heady for the Game Gear. Start the video. This is the Game Gear Dynamite Heady. This is any percent run in 1601 by Infinite Mystery. He says, a puppet with a hard head and a passion for justice looks to defeat the dark demon. That's a show I'd watch. I had a few mistakes in this run, missing one cycle stage 2-3 boss, bad tower climb in stage 4-1, and missing some hits on the Dark Demon final boss. Sub 16 coming soon. He's only 1 second away from that. I would like to give shoutouts to Mech Richter for his inspirational Genesis Dynamite Heady gameplay and Extra Guy for starting Game Gear Mania with this game. Game Gear Mania. Any of you guys play any of the versions of Dynamite Heady?
I have no idea what this is.
I've
I
never
know
even heard of
Ion speedruns it, but I saw it like once, but I don't know anything. Wait, how many systems is it on?
What,
Or
this
is it only on?
it's not just on Game Gear. It's on
I think it's
Yeah.
SNES as well.
SNES, I think. Maybe Genesis? Oh, he just said Genesis in the comments. So yeah, I guess that.
Yeah, I wonder if they're different categories. I would assume so,
Yeah,
but you never
usually.
know. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
very much
pretty
looks
cool.
like a handheld game, so I imagine it's a bit redesigned from the console variant.
Yeah.
Cool. Wait, we don't have a Game Gear icon. That's bizarre. That shouldn't be. It looks like a microwave here.
Oh god, don't talk about microwaves.
Okay, we won't. I promise.
My microwave in my house cuts out my internet whenever somebody uses it, and so it's become like a massive joke on my stream.
Oh, I've heard of
Like,
that
whenever my
happen.
stream goes down. It's like, oh, a microwave! Remove microwave.
Yeah, well, what you have to do is you go to the dentist's office and get x-rays taken, and when the person isn't looking, you grab that big lead vest that they put on top of you and run out with it. And then put that over your microwave, and that'll solve your problem.
That's a good idea. I'll have to remember to do that next time.
Sure.
All right.
Cool.
So Fez is up
Fez.
next on the PC. Any percent clockless in 2948 by Gyu.
Yeah.
He says,
Yo.
"Can't believe this happened. Now being 4 seconds behind my sum of best, this makes this run perfect and the most optimized I think I've ever done."
I actually saw this the other day, and I was actually wondering about this before this run. Like, has anybody gotten a run so good, like they've gotten so close to their summit best? And I was thinking about this, like if we could do this with Portal, and I'm just like, no. but
It'll never happen.
That's
Not
like
with door
really,
launch,
really
maybe a
cool
trigger.
that you can get so close to your summit best. I think like at that point you should call it quits, but I don't know.
I mean,
There's
like,
4 seconds to be saved.
obviously, Isle and Andrew G with Super Mario Bros. Pretty close to their sum of best, I bet.
That's true. When the game is at the point where you are, one frame rule away from getting the ideal time, I suppose it's a more reasonable goal. It's harder in a 3D game though to be, to be literally like frame perfect, best way of doing
Oh yeah.
a certain section. I mean, there's just so many degrees of freedom. That's tough.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know many games that have the reputation of like you're down to the frame. The only ones I can think of is SMB1 and SMW. SMW is getting there at this point.
Yeah, it's not there, but it could. I could see it getting really close to some of best, but then what does close even mean when you're talking about, shaving sub-second improvements off the time? It's
I can
Right.
save a whole 3 frames
Because
on this level.
SMB1 is still a couple seconds off task, and before that, Andrew G wasn't doing the bullet bill glitch, right? And then Bloodblur, IOL, whatever you want to call him, did it, and now it's just like another, optimization, and it just goes to show like competition really, really helps drive down time. So
Right.
yeah, it's really interesting to see.
People getting desperate to find new ways to improve the game, so they start doing stuff that everyone was like, "Oh, that's a task trick. We wouldn't do that." Right.
I know I did that with Chamber 8 ABH over Goo. That was segmented only, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna make this consistent, so I get it a little under half the time, and then reset.
Cool. All right. Man, G.I. Joe. Did anyone play any of the G.I. Joe games? I think this is the second one for the NES. G.I. Joe 2.
I was never manly enough to play any of these games.
All right. I played this game, so I'll read this off here. G.I. Joe: The Atlantis Factor for the NES. This is an all-stages run in 3404 by Infinite Mystery. I'm getting all the Infinite Mystery runs here. He says, G.I. Joe is a group of men, well, really just General Hawk, and a select few soldiers who come along with him in a quest to defeat Cobra, who has terrorized the world's population for far too long. The requested missions you've been tasked with involve traveling to different areas, fighting many enemies, while planting bombs for destroying bases, finding hostages, and eventually taking on Cobra. I missed Sub 34 due to one Joe death, rip wetsuit, and some menu problems. More practice to come to prepare for improving any percent, and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, there
Excellent.
Cool. Okay, I guess I can wait for the video.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still watching these flashing colors. I don't know why every time you kill a boss, this giant portal appears. This is a portal game.
It's all about Portal Man.
That's how they stole the idea from G.I. Joe.
Is that my phone? Shit. I'm gonna mute my mic.
I wonder why we.
Oh,
Sorry.
Valor.
Stop, never mind. We're good.
No problem. Can't talk now. Watching records.
Grand Theft Auto.
Cool, yeah, hit it. GTA.
Oh, is it over? Okay.
Yeah, we're ready
I
for
played
it.
this. I played this game.
You wanna say it, Nor?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll go for it.
I'll do the next one.
Grand Theft Auto: Ballad of Gay Tony. It's a DLC for Grand Theft Auto 4, I believe. 153.23 by Possessed Warrior. Any percent. It says, here are your stoic comments. I started the day with 3 hours of grinding the first 30 minutes of the game, and it paid off big. I was able to save over a minute through the first hour or so before losing it all on one mission. I didn't let it get to me, and I continued on. I slowly built that minute back up and carried it triumphantly to the end of the game. During one mission, the game tried to throw a helicopter at me, but I pushed through to come within 1 second of a gold split. Next time, 152 will be mine. I found new strats since the last record 7 months ago, so there's still time to be saved.
Nice.
Cool, yeah. We had a whole bunch of Ballad of Gay Tony submissions a while back, but I guess it's been a bit of a hiatus, but now he's back. Gay Tony returns. Cool. Congrats,
Okay.
Possessed Warrior.
Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox. Any percent 159.55 by Fingerquick. And before I read these, is Jet Set Radio Future on PC as well?
I don't know.
Because I wonder if they're different categories. But anyways, finally got under 2 hours. For the longest time in the JSRF community, we didn't know if getting a time under 2 hours was possible until I started getting my semi-best closer and closer to that time on a combo disc, which has a Sega GT 2000 and other stuff on it. I bought a standalone copy of the game recently to do runs, which saves somewhere between 1.5 to 2 minutes on the loads. The run was alright, but it can definitely go a lot lower. C-Chun 89, another JSRF run, has a summer best that is under 157, and he'll probably beat this time soon. So if anyone is interested in the game, make sure to check him out as well.
Cool.
All right.
Congrats, Fingerquick.
Fingerquick is a Halo runner as well, right?
I don't know, you would know.
I feel I've heard of him in the Halo community. Or someone with a
Judge
similar name.
Dredd.
Well, neat. We don't get a lot of original Xbox submissions, so that's kind of cool to see.
I am the law.
All right.
All right. So I'll take this nice and short one.
Go
So this
for it.
is Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd. Wow, I'm already on the SNES. Any percent in a time of 35:27 by Travic Talks. He says, this is an unknown game, and if you like this game, you should show this on your show. Okay.
Well, apparently we don't like it because I didn't make a highlight video for it.
That might go down as the
Oh,
best TSSB comment of all time. Okay.
Goodness. All right, cool.
I'm sorry, Traffic Talks.
We did our best. We did our best. Cool. Well, I like obscure SNES games, so maybe he'll get another improvement on this, and we will make a highlight video for it. There's your reason to keep playing this game right there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we got another Game Gear game, which looks like a microwave.
It's a TV. It's like an old-time TV
I
with the
know.
knobs on it, right?
You're right, but I still see a microwave when I look at it.
Oh.
So who knows anything about Mega Man here?
Pretty sure XCD is the one who did the Mega Man race a while ago, so he's
Oh,
probably the
Oh
only
yeah,
one.
I came in last. So side note, remember that big Mega Man 2 race on SRL? I came in last by over 1.5 hours because I reset. I went to the stage select on Wily 4, and it brought me back to Wily 1. But anyways, enough about
Oh,
me.
no.
Yeah, that was hell. 4 hours and 58 minutes.
Oh, man.
You suck.
No offense.
Anyways, Mega Man on the Game Gear, not the NES.
Right.
Any percent normal in 15 minutes and 15 seconds by Simon? I don't know. And he says, this was a great run that ended up only being off my best by 12 seconds. I managed to get 2 gold splits, and the only thing that really went wrong was missing a double hit on Wily, costing me 4 seconds. I think I can finally put this game to rest with this run.
All right. Nice. Congrats to, I think it's DS-Mon. DS-Mon. Why is he playing the Game Gear then instead of the DS? That's what I want to know. Well, we'll have to
Yeah.
talk about that. We'll have a little conversation about that later.
There's a video, but I don't know how broken it is compared to the original. I know the original 3 minutes or something now because you can do some weird ACE shit. But...
Right.
Wiggle. Jump and wiggle and hope for the best.
I didn't even know this was on the Game Gear, so pretty interesting.
Cool. Well, we got a video for the next one here. X5.
Oh, Mega Man X1.
Mm-hmm.
Norf, take it.
Alright.
Yeah, man.
Mega Man X5 for the PC. Any percent in 1641 by Cyberdemon531. Enigma success. Good RNG on basically everything. Movement was kind of bad in some places. My PC copy has this thing where it fucks up my controller setup, so I had to adapt to a different setup at the final stage. Well, that's why I was fucking around a bit at the very start. Either way, good run though. Happy with this.
Cool. X5.
Yeah. I think like X4, X5, X6 are really, I guess they have a pretty bad reputation in terms of like quality compared to the first couple X games, but I think they're pretty cool speedruns to watch. They're just as fast.
Yeah, that was always sort of the common sense or common knowledge or whatever you call it. That like X1 and X2 good games, and after that, yeah, kind of downhill. But I think people are sort of changing their minds on that a bit. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just because there's so many runners of the Mega Man and Mega Man X games that people just have to find new territory, and they're starting to like it for that reason. But
Yeah.
Just Stockholm
I know.
syndrome, man.
yeah, I guess.
I know X1, X2, and X3 are like super optimized at this point.
Right.
I think. I know X1 is sort of, and X2 is kind of as well. I think, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see people running some of the later X series games.
Mhm.
I think they're pretty cool, honestly, except for like 7 and 8. Those are kind of weird games.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right. Congrats, Cyberdemon 531. Another great run. We have next here. Oh, Montezuma's Return. I really don't. Okay, I don't know much about this game other than it looks like it was made from Quake Engine or something.
It has some weird movement and really cool movement. I've seen it like once, but somebody else wants to go for it.
Yeah. All right, I can read it off here, but this is a
Whoa.
80% run in 30 minutes flat by Pyoxt. Wow, this is crazy looking. And why are there bananas?
Talk about motion sickness. Holy.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
Well,
weird.
not having like an object in front of you to focus on definitely would make it more motion sickness
Oh my
inducing.
god.
Does this have Oculus Rift compatibility?
Oh man, I would
Oh,
play
no.
this.
Fun fact: I tried Oculus Rift halfway to HDQ, and I almost threw up.
Awesome.
Nice.
It was terrible. It was really, really bad.
This
But
looks
anyways,
amazing.
And we
this
have,
would be so bad on Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
wow. And there's more punching fat guys in the butt. We saw some of this last week. You'll see it. Anyway, so Piox says, hi again. A few mistakes here and there, but I'm pretty happy with this run. Shoutouts to the Monty community. Bigger and better than the Beethoven second community. Wow. Shots fired. The Monty community versus the Beethoven community.
Yeah.
Since Flicky enjoyed the Dragonfly levels boss fight from last week's highlight so much, I've decided to put it in this week's highlight video too, even though it was slower than last time. Well, joke's on you. Flicky is in rehab somewhere, and he isn't with us tonight, so we'll show it to him when he gets back.
Poor Flippy.
It's for his own good.
Yeah, this game looks pretty cool actually. I like the movement. It's kind of like a Source game.
Hmm.
It might run off one of
Whoa.
Oh,
the popular FPS engines.
That FOV.
Too much FOV for me.
Yeah.
Anything over 30 is too much for Norf.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I run Halo 3 because I like not seeing anything.
Our eyes can only perceive like 30 fields of vision.
Right.
Oh no.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Alright, cool. Congrats, Pioxt.
I like this game.
Yeah. New Super Marissa Land. Anyone ever played this game?
I have not, but I can give it a try.
Sure, go for it.
Alright, New Super Marissa Land on the PC. Category is All Mushrooms in a time of 36:10 by Raindrop Dry. Says, really good run with Sloppy World 2, but amazing at later worlds. I feel I can get a sub 36 anytime soon, hopefully before AGDQ, so I can't wait for that.
Cool. Congrats, Raindrop Dry. Excellent work. Next up, we got Ninja Gaiden 3. So here's a fun one. The black sheep of the Ninja Gaiden family, I suppose you could say. But it's 1305 by Infested Reach. He says, possibly the end of Ninja Gaiden 3. This run is 2 seconds faster than my previous Sum of Best. So there you go. 2 seconds faster than Sum of Best on a 13-minute game, which went from 1307 to 1302 with this run. What made it possible was the task climb I did on the last stage, the vertical platform climb, which saves around 4 seconds by skipping some cycles of the room. AGDQ Ninja Gaiden Relay hype. Is there really a Ninja Gaiden Relay at AGDQ? How did I miss that?
Okay.
I didn't
Wow.
hear about that.
Really cool though.
Ninja Gaiden. This is a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Hype for Ohan.
Yep.
Do you know, like, all the Ninja Gaiden games are pretty optimized at this point, right?
Yeah, well, like 1 and 2 been super optimized. 3 maybe a little bit less fresh, like the speedruns. I mean, it just seemed like there was fewer new strategies to it. But now it looks like Ninja Gaiden 3 has got a couple runners, and it's some improvements really being made. And this apparently is an incredible run. So we'll see if anyone is going to go after it after this point, or if they'll just have to wait until new strats come out. But
Wasn't there a 3D Ninja Gaiden game that came out at some point? It was
there's
like
Ninja Gaiden Black.
something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know Caleb runs that, or he used to.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it's called though.
Yeah, there definitely was 3D Ninja Gaiden.
Oh yeah, Beazle the Page.
The page. No one pays me to switch the page. Cool. All right, there's Ninja Gaiden 3. Now you can see it. There it is up on the screen. 1305. This next game, I don't know what to say about it. Parasol Henneby. Someone want to take a chance on this? There's a video.
Sure, I'll go for it.
All right.
So Parasol Henneby for the NES, 90% in 12 minutes and 8 seconds by Unusual Cook. The big-nosed, umbrella-wielding, rainbow-shooting, press select to run man has returned. Sounds like really good
What?
controls. Gained 11 seconds due to boss luck. Reminder to watch the 5RG marathon for this game and many others that are much better. Pressing select to run sounds like really, really good controls. I'm not gonna lie.
Some top quality control layouts.
Maybe as good as Dark Souls on the keyboard.
Yeah, I've heard that's pretty terrible. I haven't tried it though.
This reminds me of like Peach in Melee. She uses her up B.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't kidding. Big nose, parasol. I'll just take his word for it on the select to run thing.
Looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, this is possibly
Pretty
good.
decent speed game.
Good SGL material, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll be forcing someone to play this game sometime soon. We'll see.
Platformers tend to make pretty good speed games just because they're platformers,
Yeah.
and it's fast when you don't stop moving, and it looks cool.
Right. Usually pretty accessible. I have no idea what just happened in the minigame. You'll see it in a moment, but something was going on there.
Oh, I get it now. No, I don't.
All makes sense.
So you
Cool.
hit him with the baseball bats.
Right.
Oh,
I think
good.
there was some Rochambeau going on there. I don't know what that was about.
Crazy. All right, well, that was Parasol Henneby. Congrats, Unusual Cook, for the 12:08 time. Next game we got here. Is that an arcade cabinet? Yeah, it's a little arcade cabinet icon. I didn't realize Duckfist made an icon for that. But this is Punch-Out, the arcade version of Punch-Out, being run by Zallard, of course.
Of course.
Master of all things Punch-Out.
And blindfolded.
And blindfolded. Yeah, it's 232 any percent by Zallard 1. He says, I recently found several new strategies in this game to improve on some of Funkdoc's IL times. That gave me enough of a chance to improve this already really good 235 run by a bit more, so once Sandman finally cooperated, it happened. This ends up being 11 seconds from my individual level sum, but those times are very much not single segment friendly. With this run, I can actually say for the brief moment that I have the single segment record for every Punch-Out game that was ever released, not including Mr. Dream or the Famicom versions, which are essentially equivalent to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Wow.
Wow, he has every Punch-Out any percent record,
That's
or single segment record. That's crazy.
incredible.
He could box you into a coma.
Right?
Is
He
our
was
running
really
anything?
fast too, I bet.
At AGDQ?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure in 20 seconds the chat will tell me the answer to that.
He's incredible. His Super Punch Out blindfolded was still one of the most incredible things I've seen in speedrunning. So I hope he runs something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Punch-Out is always such crazy optimized games. They're all so technical. It's all just really like non-obvious stuff that you just have to memorize and know the possibilities and reset until you get good luck in certain places. It's just like Punch-Out runs always amaze me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
Woo, we did it.
Sick.
Apparently that guy's not called Little Mac anymore. He's got a different name in this version. But
It's wireframe Mac now.
yeah, Vector Mac.
Yeah.
They actually
Neat.
have that skin in the new Smash.
Wireframe?
Little Mac. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
I think they do, or it's either the skin wasn't loading properly, but I definitely
That's been a problem. Oh,
Oh goodness. Oh
I
man,
love
someone's
those pictures.
yeah. All right, this next one someone's really gonna want to take, I'm sure. Any big Snow White fans? Snow White fans in the?
Oh, dude. Blizik loves Frozen. That's like Snow White, right?
That's true, but yeah, Frozen
All
and
right.
and Snow White's the
All
same
right.
thing.
Wait, we missed one.
Oh, we
Did I
did
miss
too.
one? I'm sorry. Did I miss?
Shinobi.
We missed a really good one too. All right, never mind. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
All right, should I do this one
Yeah,
instead?
yeah, do that.
All right, Shinobi on the NES. Any percent in 940 by Infinite Mystery. Everyone's not so favorite ninja, who for some reason walks slowly and uses a gun in favorism instead of a sword to dish out some justice, is back with a faster completion time. There's not too much for me to comment on besides still one hostage that doesn't need saving for the bonus stage, quicker helicopter and statue boss kills, and a bad final boss fight. My only question now is where are those hostages he's been saving sent to?
He just like collects hostages and they disappear,
Counter-Strike.
something like that. Cool. I like everyone's least favorite ninja. Everyone's not so favorite ninja. I have to remember that. Good old Shinobi. All right. Well, now we're gonna get to Snow White, and I'll read this one because it's one of my favorite SNES games ever. Is it a SNES game? I'm just making this up.
Yes.
All right. So,
Good guess. Good job.
cool.
Get
14.
thumbs up for that one.
Yeah. Awesome. 1419 is the time by Garbanzo Guy, who says, this is a fun speed game. The way this game works in normal is that you have to collect 40 coins in each level, then to get to the exit, and then get to the exit, I believe is what he means there. It's pretty fun too. Changing the difficulty changes the number of coins you need, so each difficulty would have a different route as a speedrun. Easy is 20, normal is 40, and hard is 60. Difficult, 100. I guess difficult is harder than hard. Yeah, I guess hard and difficult. Possible time saves that I know of: Cloudland, I went back for unnecessary coins. Mother Nature had some bad execution. Realm of Doom, I like these names. I picked up coins slowly. Why are you picking up coins in a Snow White game? I don't remember that having anything to do with the plot of the movie. Collecting coins?
Those old video games.
I suppose. They were really coin focused back in that era, I suppose.
They really were.
Yeah.
Tried and true method.
Cool. All right. Well, congrats, Garbanzo guy. I hope that you do get the improvements that you're seeking, because we'd like to hear more about Snow White in the future. So space. Sorry, go ahead.
I know stuff about this game, so I'll take this.
All right, go for it.
Space Station Silicon Valley on the Nintendo 64, any percent in 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 23 seconds by Misil.
McKill?
McKill? Maybe, I don't know. I've PB'd a few times since my last submission, but didn't want to spam your shows with my runs. I'm now happy with my time and will move on to the 99% category for the near future. Check out that sexy double gorilla though, so sexy. I will explain why there's a 99% category. Because in Space Station Silicon Valley, you might be like, wow, why is this guy running arbitrary categories? But the 100% category, you have to get all the trophies, I believe. And one of the trophies in the game has no hit detection, so you just walk through it and it's unobtainable. Like you literally cannot get it. So that's why it's 99%. Back when I used to run
a lot of people off.
Right.
Yeah, back when I used to run Killer Tomatoes, I actually looked for some stuff in this game. I found a couple of tips. I eventually quit because some levels were like super slow and kind of boring, but this game is like really glitchy and stuff. And I estimated at the time that the run would be around 2 hours if done. So I'm glad to see it's down to like 121.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this game I heard randomly will crash on the N64. So that's another thing. Like apparently it crashes more in N64 than emulator. So yeah, this game is actually a really, really cool speedrun in my opinion. It's a relatively unknown game in Nintendo 64. I believe it was made by the same people who made GTA, or the same company or something, which is kind of funny. So pretty much what you do is you have to control like this robot ant thing, and you like switch to all these different animals, and each animal has a different purpose in each level. And yeah, and like any other N64 games with weird textures, it's pretty glitchy, and you can there's a lot of sequence breaks and stuff, so go check that out. It's really cool.
Yeah, just looking at it, I have no trouble believing that it's a very glitchy game. It just looks like it. Yeah, it's an N64 game, and just something about it smacks of DK64. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just seeing the giant blue gorilla, giant purple gorilla. Yeah. Makes me think of monkeys. Well, there we go. So, Space Station Silicon Valley, neat game. I like vehicles and animals that you can play as, so this game has both. This next game here, Spica Adventure for the arcade. It's arcade machine. Any percent top route in 630 by Eggman, who says, I spilled soy sauce on my keyboard. Which is nice self-referential comment.
Remember how I said that last comment was the best comment in TSSB history? I think it was just beat.
Just... Oh man, yeah. We should have saved that.
That should be the raid message.
Okay, keep it. We'll use that.
Okay.
Good. Awesome. Well, congrats, Eggman. Star Fox, next game here. I'll read this one off. I'm a big Star Fox fan. I like the SNES Star Fox. I haven't really played the other. There's probably a couple now, aren't there? But level 1 warpless. Level 1 is basically, there's different difficulty levels that give you different paths through the game, and level 1 is the easy path, but they all complete the game in a different way. Level 1 warpless in 2359 by Skybills. who says, although this run... Oh, wait, I got a video. You want to see the video. You don't want to just hear me talking. There we go. Although this run looks seamless to the non-speedrunner, there are at least 15 to 16 seconds worth of room improvement. I need to work on lag reduction, especially in the Venom orbit. Oh, room for improvement. Sorry, this is actually nice, well-proofread comments, and I'm mangling it totally. At least 15 to 16 seconds worth of room for improvement. I need to work on lag reduction, especially in the Venom orbit and asteroid stages. There are also a couple of seconds to be made up in the Andros fight, but it's really difficult to shoot between the planets and create a 2-cycle fight. Further research still needs to be done concerning what causes lag and what does not, considering the task video is sub 20. This is 23:59. Wow, 4 minutes off of a game that seems to be on rails is huge. Special thanks to Author Blues for helping me research the spots to reduce lag. So yeah, it's definitely a challenging speedrun because there are some parts that you really can't speed up, but there's a ton of lag in this game, so the way you play these sections makes a huge difference. And then, of course, boss fights. It's just boss fight city. Like trying to do these things fast and get all the quick kills. A lot of technical knowledge needed for that. And this run had some particularly good boss fights in it. Those that I saw.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Congrats on the
Is this-
sub 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like this
This
Andrew.
game, and I don't mean this in like a negative way, but is Oh wait, this is for SNES. Never mind.
It's
Okay.
SNES, and it uses the Super FX chip. Or the
Okay.
FX chip. Some sort of FX chip, which is an onboard graphics processor on the cartridge itself. Not a lot of carts with that. You know, some of the Mega Man X games have that. Basically, if you have a power pack or like an EverDrive kind of thing for SNES games, you're going to have a lot of trouble playing games like this because it doesn't have the processor.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Yup. So, don't try to put that in your EverDrive. Alright, so we got... so congrats, Skybills, for that 23:59. Hope to see more Star Fox. I really do like that game. Super Adventure Island 2. I'm going to guess no one's played this.
Can't say I have.
I have no idea what it is.
I played Super Adventure Island 1, but this is the sequel to that. 5557 is the time by Peapot.1, who says, this is an improvement of 125 over my previous record. I improved nearly every boss fight and had much cleaner movement overall. Still some improvements to be made, but I'm very happy with this run. Interesting. I don't know if I'd recommend Super Adventure Island 1, but number 2 seems like it's pretty good, so I think you should give that a try. What about SCV4? You guys have to know this one, right?
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but yeah. Let me see. 1 second. Okay. Super Castlevania 4 for the SNES, and 8% in 3228 by Furious Paul. SDA timing reads 3828.9. This run is 8 seconds faster than the previous PB. This run beats Joe D'Amelio's previous world record by 1/10 of a second. Run was very good overall. Got the Zip, 1 cycle Chandelier, 1 cycle Mummy. Biggest mistake was missing a blood drip boost in stage 8.
Ooh.
I know that Furious Paul held the record like 10 years ago or something, and he like finally retook it. There is a world record progression chart like we have in Portal. They have the same thing in Super Castlevania 4, and he had the record like a decade ago. And I know Joe D'Amelio and Hanage were going back and forth, and he was running it as well, and finally he got the record, so that's cool. I don't know where the progression chart is, but
that must be quite a sense of closure there. Wow.
Yeah, I hope it keeps going down. I know this game has gotten really popular over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just running. Yeah, I know Joe D'Amelio from Guitar Hero community a couple years ago, so have some sort of connection. But yeah, really cool that he got the record like a decade later.
All right, cool, awesome. Well, congrats, Furious Paul. I hope you can hold on to this for a while. But man, there's some competition for this game at the moment. It definitely blew up. You're right. Over the last year, it's just like huge.
Yeah.
So cool. That's good to see. All right, here's a game that we actually haven't seen on this show much lately, but it's back again. Does somebody want to read off Yoshi's Island? This is a good one.
Sure, why not? This is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island on the SNES. Any percent warpless in 144.26 by the Crispy 22. It says this beats Mount 76907's time of 144.52 from April. I've been working on this category for nearly 2 years now, and have finally taken the record. This run skips the auto-scroller in 5.4, which probably the most famous trick in the game. It requires almost 50 flutters and some enemy manipulation. I am not satisfied with this run. My goal is to at least get a 143. I hope to beat Mount Snow Null Egg world record also. Mount and I will be racing at AGDQ.
This is crazy. This is all, you're supposed to have a platform that you're making your way across on here. This is supposed to be an auto-scroller. And he just ditches it and flies, floats his way through here, bouncing off those enemies. Pretty nuts.
Yeah. This game's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, see, he just says goodbye platform and goes right off and goes out on his own. Awesome.
Flutter is so hard.
Yeah.
I've tried it once.
Yeah, they're really,
And he
they're really like specific. Like that.
Cool. Well, congrats to Crispy 22. That's quite an accomplishment.
Man,
144.26.
good job on that.
Yeah.
This game is insane.
Right, and played at a very high level because there's a lot of good runners who have put time into it. So to get the record in it at all is just it's pretty incredible.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yes, the Elder Scrolls,
So-
huh?
Yeah. No out of bounds, so I'm going to take this one.
Mm-hmm.
The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on the PC. No out of bounds in a time of 45:57 by Matumbro?
Matumbro, yeah.
Yeah, okay. This improves my previous record of 46:06. Congrats on the sub 46.
Mm-hmm.
This run was very up and down. Near the end, I didn't think I would be able to go sub 46, but I went off and got almost 3 gold splits in a row. For now, I'm taking a break from No Out of Bounds to focus on routing the Shivering Isles DLC, all guilds, and grinding out any percent runs. So congrats on that.
Good old Elder Scrolls series. Lots of good
Yeah.
speedrunnable games in that.
From what I've seen, that game is really, really, really broken.
That's what makes it a good speed game.
Of course, yeah.
If you have to put no out of bounds in the category name, then that must mean that there's some really sick out of bounds stuff that you can do. If they
I
need
think
to
any
ban it.
percent is a couple minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one where you can just like fly through the entire game, isn't it?
Yeah,
You get
it's right.
paintbrush or something, and you just use the paintbrush a bunch of times to go across the map.
That's
I
pretty
think
solid.
it's something like that.
Yeah. All right, cool. This next run, let me see. Goonies 2, I know a little bit about this, not too much, but Goonies 2 for the NES. 1659 is the new any percent time by Darkwing Duck. He said that this is a placeholder time. I guess that assumes that he thought that he was going to beat it before the Sunday rolled around, but he didn't. But 1710 last week was Darkwing's time. Then Dragon Dark came back with a 1706, and then Darkwing at a 1702, and then a 17, and now a 1659. And he says next week will probably be a big hit by Dragon Dark or another small increment by me. What a humble guy. But yeah, just suddenly, like out of nowhere, Darkwing pulled this game. This was his mystery game out, and a mystery game here, which he was using for his donation marathon, I think. If his goal got met, he was going to bust out the bonus game, and this was it. And he started doing record attempts on it, and I think he got the record the next day. And so since then, it's been Darkwing versus Dragon Dark on Goonies 2. Unlikely hero.
Yeah, he's amazing at any game he touches. So
It's difficult when you play the same game as Darkwing Duck. That is a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, well, congrats, 1659 Darkwing Duck. So, last game of the list. Oh, and it's a really good one. It's the worst port of an Ultima game in existence. No, that's probably saying a lot. I won't say that. That's a broad statement. There's probably worse examples. But I like, go for it.
All right, I'll take it.
Thank
Ultima
you.
5 Warriors of Destiny on the NES, any percent in 3106 by Yogi the Monk. You beat the game at level 1 without fighting a single enemy. Wow. As long as you stay on the magic carpet, you pretty much stay invisible forever. I skipped 3 of the intended dungeons by by leaving the Shadow Lords alive and getting into the menus before they have a chance to attack, and using a time stop scroll to sneak past them. I death warp about 5 times and found one very efficient moon gate, which I set up to work by using an arbitrary tent early in the game. The run is very bad. The controls are unresponsive and bad. The game itself is extremely bad. I feel bad while playing it, and you will probably feel bad watching it. Sub 30 is possible. I think you might be right about it being the worst.
He's pretty sideways. I don't know.
I don't know.
Everything's slanted.
The Ultima 4 NES port looked really polished. I mean, they put a lot of time into it. This definitely looks much more like the early Ultima PC games. But I don't know, just the controls to me look really frustrating. I've played this a little bit. Like, I rented this when I was a kid. Because I got Ultima 3 and Ultima 4 for the NES, and then I got this, and I was like, what's going on? Why am I playing this? And I didn't get anywhere, but it could have just been me. These caves look cool, though. It's kind of weird, though, that you just kind of jump around from square to square instead of moving smoothly.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I wonder if there's out of bounds in this game.
Hopefully.
I would save sometimes.
Cool. Well, congrats, Yogi the Monk. This was the same person who got the Ultima 4 record very recently, beating my time, which was uncontested for a long time. So I wonder what Ultima game he's going to do next, if anything. Or if he's just going to play Qbert until his hands fall off. Maybe all the NES ones. Okay, so he's going to go after possibly Ultima 3. That would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Not cool for
all of
you,
them.
but cool for us. Cool. Well, that's the end of the list. That's it. We got a bunch of records this week, and we got through them really efficiently with all these hands on deck here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Congrats, everyone.
Let me hit that split. Wait, louder. There you go.
Yeah,
Get
there
North
you
to
go.
do it.
Yeah, I get North.
I gotta love the blue switches.
Cool. Man, so that's it. Is there any news? Is any stuff happening? What's going on? Between now and AGDQ, what's happening?
Exams.
Exams?
Go exam.
Trying to steal world record from Blizik.
Hey, get out of here.
Yeah, nothing really. For AGD, going to be pretty sick.
Yeah, AGDQ, I'm looking forward to that.
Try not to
That'll be
be
my
think-
first one.
Everyone in this call right now is going, I think.
Yep.
I think so. Yeah.
Neat. What are you guys playing besides the Portal race? What else are you guys doing?
I'm doing Marble Blast Ultra for Xbox Live Arcade.
Stream
Yes.
Monster.
I think that's it.
Stream Monster.
Most of us will
I'm
probably
alright.
be catching for like maybe Goknak's run, and Goknak does Half-Life 2. He's doing
Mhm.
episode 2 at HDQ.
Neat.
Yeah, I'm going to be on couch for Portal and maybe like
Portal
one or
2.
two other games.
Mm-hmm.
Portal 2.
Other than that,
I,
just hanging out, the usual.
Neat.
So yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we
Marble
should-
Blast Ultra seems like it's going to be a really good run.
I hope so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was
At least it
cut
doesn't.
like 3 times or something. And it's back in, so
At least it doesn't kill your wrists like Portal does.
yeah. That's why I picked it up. Something that won't destroy my wrist.
Yeah. Well, do you guys want to give some shout outs to anybody?
Shout outs to the legendary ZFG. I don't know. Some
Oh my god.
that's
Portal?
something
DFG?
Azrae came up with. Yeah, Azrae. ZFG needs to go back to doing Portal out of bounds. You keep saying he'll do it, and he never does it.
You
He's
said
like
before
30.
STDQ. Before
Yeah.
STDQ last year.
Nobody knows this, but ZFG used to run Portal, and he said he's gonna run it again and never did. He's like
Oh, man.
35th on the out of bounds leaderboards. Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, you got to improve that. You can't let that slide. You're just gonna get
It's-
further down the list.
He's busy
Shout out.
running important categories like Water Temple RTA.
Oh,
Shoutouts to a boy in his blob, Trouble in Bloblonian.
I think Zephyrus wanted to get that on Sunday
He
Sequence
wanted
break.
the blob shoutout.
Man, a boy in his blob. We should have really short speedrun episode. We can get through like 15 games.
yeah.
Well, the 100%'s like it's like over 10 minutes or something.
Whoa, that's too long. We couldn't have that on the show.
Yeah, it's longer than Portal.
Right, if it's longer than Portal, no thank you.
Yeah, man, this game's only like 12 minutes, and it took us almost 12 hours to get through it.
Yeah. Awesome. Any other shoutouts?
Xeronicus running Portal 2 at AGDQ. It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, Doors Block is gonna be sick. Episode 2, Portal 2, Portal 1. I think that's it.
I think there's Half-Life 1 in there.
Oh.
Or
But that isn't Source. Wait, no, I'm just
it's
kidding.
Gold
It's gonna
Source. Come on.
be Time. It's the last day. It's incredible. Don't forget to watch that.
All right.
It's basically it.
Always sick prizes with the Source Block.
I think
Oh.
Wilson is doing Portal
He's
runs
doing-
right now.
He's doing glitchless.
Is he? I'll go convince him to
This-
not do that.
Like right now?
Still is doing 99% run.
Oh, 99% runs of Space Station Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Wanna? I don't know.
That's not a bad idea. All right. All right.
Wait, is this?
Yeah, he only has 5 viewers. Why not?
Let's do
I'll link
that.
it
All right.
in. I linked it in Skype.
Okay. Well, yeah, pop it in the
Still doing
chat.
things on our keyboard.
Oh, chat.
Put it in the chat and,
Oh yeah.
and make
what
sure
was
to get
our-
that soy
what was our raid
sauce.
test?
Oh,
Get the
soy
soy
sauce.
sauce.
Shit.
Soy sauce.
Wait.
There it is.
Where is it?
Found it.
Trying
Found
to-
it.
Here, spam it. Spam it in chat.
Okay, and let's also mention that Mitch Flower Power is raising money for AGDQ right now. So if you want to go check out Mitch's channel, you could also do that. But we'll make our official raid McGill, and there's our message. Good old Space Station Silicon Valley, a game that I hope we see more of. Maybe we can do an episode on it once we finally figure out what is actually happening in that game.
Yeah.
What a double
Supposed to be
gorilla
fun.
means.
Double gorilla.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, that's the show for tonight. Please, if you want to, just leave the window open for a few minutes at the end while we spam some ads. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. We got SGL coming up, Speed Gaming League, coming up again on Thursday night on this channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Rockin' Cats is going to be the game. And coming up again the following Saturday, the Saturday of this upcoming week, at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel. And the game is going to be Jackie Chan's Adventures. Wait, Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu, which is going to be a real treat. So cool, check those things out. And that's it. Go visit the raid target. I'll see you guys next time.
All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fun.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya.
Yep.
The Sunday Sequence Break.